Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have an open conversation today. This is going to be a little bit different from what we normally do, seeing as how I'm, talking to some of my gaming friends today. We will be playing games in between our little conversation, just have a few little matches in our game. Of course, we'll come back and kind of discuss and play around and BS with each other while we're having our discussion. But today, we have a couple of gaming friends with us. They're not going to be on camera, of course, or I can't switch cameras to anything. So, Heck, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Other than work being horrible like we were talking about, I'm great.
Yeah. Sweaty socks and all.
Oh, God, that was horrible. All right. And, of course, our other guest here is Bobarino. Bob, how you doing?
I'm super great, Senpai.
It already sounds like it, man.
I'm not sleepy at all. I'm splendid. I'm excellent.
Did you just put on your best radio voice possible?
Me?
Yeah.
I was trying. Trying to make it weird, so... yeah.
All right, so...
I'm trying to be like Senpai.
Let me switch into this. All right, first thing, before we get into any games or anything, let me ask you something. Have you heard about the threats China has made if Nancy Pelosi goes over to Taiwan?
I have not been following that threat train.
Yes, I'm formula.
Okay, so Nancy Pelosi was supposed to actually go over to Taiwan earlier, but she caught COVID, so they had to cancel the trip. Now, she's supposed to go in August, and, Chinese leader Xi Jinping said, they've always been, there's a hot contention of China invading Taiwan at this point, right? But Xi Jinping said that if you go over there, that's fine. We'll even use our jet to guide you in, but we're gonna shoot it down. Now I went.
Oh.
Yeah.
That person going there, like.
Well, the Speaker of the House, it's Taiwan is there. Like I said, there's been some contention between China and Taiwan. China wants to invade Taiwan. China's been trying to force the world into not at least acknowledging Taiwan to be its own country. Taiwan is a NATO member. They've been, they supply most of our silicone chips for anything electronic at all. I don't even know why I know this, but they supply a sixth of the screws around the world. You look at anything.
Why do this?
Yeah,
Bizarre that you know that.
I don't know how I know it, but they do. But yeah, you look at anything. Everything's made in Taiwan or made in China, right? The biggest concern is if China takes Taiwan. China has a huge economic boost because of what Taiwan actually does prepare for the world. It would take China's economy, which was already projected to overtake the U.S. somewhere around after 2030 or something like that. But with that economic boost that they would have, owning Taiwan as part of China would set them to take us over in just like 2025, 26, somewhere around there, maybe even later, 2027, and they become the world's economic superpower. Nancy Pelosi,
fantastic.
Right? Nancy Pelosi was supposed to go visit, got COVID. He's supposed to visit in August. Now, here's the real funny part. I kind of talked about this yesterday, but there's been some more development that I actually wanted to touch on today. I was going to do it until, Keck's just like, well, I'm out of town, but, so we kind of did this show a little bit later because we're always on Keck time when we do this, and Keck time is whatever time she's up. So.
Plus 1 hour.
But yeah.
I will own up to that.
So the funniest part about it is, we have a TikTok for the show where I just post like screenshots of article titles and, where they come from, and without really any relevant information, just to see who's actually going in there and reading these things, who actually knows about them, trying to find people that can have good conversations. So they could be a guest on the show as well. I don't want to pick on people that just want to fight about shit and just lie because they're indoctrinated into all the bullshit like CNN and MSNBC and Fox pick up all the damn time.
Oh, yeah, following that lovely rhetoric all the time.
Right. Not willing to accept a new idea or anything. I don't want that. I don't want this to turn into any kind of shouting match. So it's kind of difficult to find that. But I had posted it, and out of like 326 comments before I had done the show yesterday, only 2 were in defense of Nancy Pelosi. The 324 of them were just like, send her away, get her out of here. And these are left and right-leaning people, right? And everybody's just fed up with it. Now, something that caught my attention, and I had even posted it on the TikTok there, that an article had come out earlier this morning that said Republicans and Democrats are in favor of sending Nancy Pelosi over there. And even Biden's administration is just like, Biden said, no, this is not a good idea. Don't go over there. But everybody else in his administration is just like, nah, you need to go. Go over. Go out. So I don't know how to take that other than the fact that I think the entire country is just like, fuck you, Pelosi.
Yeah,
Look,
that's kind of the gravitational pull I'm feeling from that.
Right. And some new developments with that as well. China had said at that point in time, there was a call that he had made to Biden. And within that call, China says, look, you're playing with fire. Don't fuck with us. And apparently now we have some naval units that are heading to the South China Sea as we speak. Now, what they're going there for, nobody really has said anything about, but if she goes, you got carriers and everything out there to kind of protect. I think that's what they're headed there for. So, I know Keck's an American. We have a Canadian with us, with Bob. What do y'all think about this shit?
Bob, I'll let you go first.
I mean, for real, I'm all clueless about it, kind of. Like, I don't know anything about all of this. So, even like politics, like I'm not really well informed about the subject. Because, like, I'm Canadian, so we just wave the white flag anyway. Like, but we're like, I feel like American people, like, are more like aware of this kind of.
Well, see, okay, Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House for the United States. Like, she is third in line for presidency. If something were to happen to Biden and Kamala Harris at the, roughly around the same time, she would be president. Okay. Now, if you're talking about
terrifying.
It is. If you're talking about third in line for the presidency kind of situation at that point, where is the? Oh, it's here. I gotta change my color so I can play with both of you. If you're talking about the third in line for presidency, actually going to a country and one of our hotly contended enemies is saying they're going to shoot it down. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that Xi Jinping will do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Signs that they are protecting her, then I guess. Like,
right. But as far as that goes, like she's just horrible. Now, I caught that and got hit.
I don't know about her at all, so I can't.
Did you ever see the thing where it's a big meme? I can see Russia from my house. Do you know that person? That's Nancy Pelosi in a nutshell.
Not even. I mean,
one of the biggest American idiots. Like, no offense to Green Day using that for Nancy Pelosi, but she really is just a moron.
Well, okay, this is the same woman that, was talking about, in her speeches and everything, where America's doing great, the economy's doing great. But you look at her district out there in California, it's, what is it? 1 in 5 now is homeless. They have, they literally had to create a department for cleaning shit off the road because all the homeless people were shitting everywhere. You drive down in her district, it's either homeless people or more drug addicts just everywhere. But, you know, she's talking about how much good she's done for the country and everything. And when you look at where she comes from, if that's what she wants for the country, not for that.
I mean, you want the best for your country, but there's just literal shit, human fecal matter on your doorstep. Like, that's a little bit contradictory, I would say.
Yeah, at one point, somebody had left an animal head, like a decapitated animal head, in her driveway. And that's how
fair to the animal.
It's not, but that's how she started talking about, like, right-wing extremism or some shit. But, I mean, that's the sentiment of every single person in America. I feel sorry for the animal head that was left in her driveway. But when you have a refrigerator full of, like, $10,000 ice cream that you have imported, go fuck yourself. You know?
You have to drop a fish, not an animal head. That's...
I think they both work.
No, that's a Sicilian message, that's why. I'm kidding.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Keck. What you think? Should we send her or not?
I mean, here, how about this? If she really wants to go, just let her go.
Oh, she don't want to go. Should we make her go? Do you want to start World War III to get rid of her?
I mean, I feel like World War III is already impending, so it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Pelosi to... Oh, wow. I'm not going to say that. Nope, not going to say that. Not going to say that.
Say it.
If that's the trigger, I mean, I thought the whole Ukraine thing was going to be the thing that sets off World War III, but it turns out there's a lot of things that are kind of competing for the spot to trigger it. I feel like we're slightly in a new Cold War where people just have their fingers just slightly, their chubby little fingers just slightly over the nuclear warfare button.
You know, there was a lot of talk about, you know, Trump sending us into the next world war and everything. He's just gonna fuck up everything. You know, that guy, after he sent missiles, I think, into Syria, and in news was sitting there saying this is the first time he's ever been presidential. Like, after that, I feel like this motherfucker was like, we need to stop this. You know, he was the only president in our modern history that has never led us into any new war. He was trying to pull our troops out of everywhere, and, you know, just trying to pull back everything. He's the one that even said, you know, we got to leave some troops here to protect the oil and things like that. Just flat out telling the American people what the government's been doing. And, you know, I hate the dude. I've always hated him, even before he became president. But he spoke a lot of truth, and it woke a lot of people up to the shit that was going on in the government, you know. But here we are, what, a year and a half into Biden. We're already looking at World War III, and we got a bumbling fool who shits himself in front of the world stage, literally on the nuclear butt. I don't like that idea. You know,
I don't like that idea either. And by the way, let me correct something. I think I misspoke. It was Sarah Palin that said, I can see Russia from my house, but she's comparable to Nancy Pelosi in my book.
Yeah, she's Alaska. So yeah, that was probably her.
No, but I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed in Biden. He's pretty much a wet noodle. But he started out kind of with a shit show, you know? After Trump's presidency, and I don't know, everything. I never thought that I'd see so much polarization as I have.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Trump was in office, and now that's being kind of perpetuated through Biden. Like, we're all so segregated now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to hold a conversation with somebody and, you know, expect to have a real clear insight without people yelling and screaming and getting into fights anymore. Like I was saying before the show, that's kind of what I would bring to this. You know, and just
like
to clarify, right? Just to clarify, like, with y'all here, it doesn't matter what you think. You don't like my ideas, that's fine. We disagree, that's fine. I'm not going to treat you any different from this point on than I ever would.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that, and I appreciate that, and I am very much of that doctrine as well. I will never crucify someone for their beliefs, so that is...
As far as that goes, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm with the sentiment of America. We're already going to be headed towards World War III. Let's just get that out of the way. Unless something changes with our government and we get rid of every single person within the Biden administration at this point. Because let's be honest, Biden is not the president. He's not. He's just a dawdling, bumbling old fool. Oh shit. You know what? I got to bring... I'm sorry, guys. I just noticed something. Since the volume, I gotta bring y'all's volume up too, which means the game's gonna be loud. But yeah. I forgot we're not talking through Discord, we're actually talking through the game, so yeah. But yeah, I just...
Good that you realize that now.
Yeah, after that whole conversation, but I'm sure that came through enough to hear. Let's see.
It's okay. We'll probably end up resurfacing and going back to the original topic quite a bit. I do get a bit derailed, but
I'm just going to be completely honest. I'm kind of with the sentiment of, everybody here in America just... It's going to start World War III. I know it. We're already on that track. Let's just get this shit over with at this point. It's... Nuclear war... be damned, because it's gonna happen regardless. You know what I'm saying? But not just because I hate Nancy Pelosi. Well, because I hate Nancy Pelosi, but
I'm like, wait.
Without removing pretty much every single person within our government, we're already headed there. There's no reason to kind of put this off anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're basically delineating that, like, either we just completely replace the whole cabinet, the entire government, we're just heading straight for nuclear fallout.
Yes. Let's just put it this way, okay? Most democratic people have gone insane, which you can see are targeting kids to either be racist before they even know the history of the country, or pop their dick and balls off, turn into a woman before they even realize who the hell they are. It's... This whole thing has just been a shit show after shit show after shit show. Democrats are insane. Republicans do absolutely nothing but vote in their favor or sit around with their thumbs up their ass doing nothing, save for a few that are good on each side. I mean, our whole government has been literally chaining us to a barrel and fucking us in the ass for decades. And now they're making us choose who our favorite rapist is, and the whole thing's just it's gotta go. It really does. Every bit of it. You got the FBI who literally knows about all these mass shootings. They do nothing about it. They're like, well, we had him on our radar, we just couldn't catch him. Yet you motherfuckers can find Saddam Hussein in a fucking hole in the ground in another country halfway across the world. What are you talking about?
Yeah, tell me you don't have your priorities straight without telling me you don't have your priorities straight.
Mm-hmm. Just legalize more gun. That's what they do.
Well, see, that's a hot contention here
From
too,
my
especially
point of
after
view,
you
that's
vote.
how I see it. I'm like, dude, is this stupid? Like, we're having all sort of problem with guns, and then you go to the Constitution and they're like, oh, and carry a weapon. I don't know what it was exactly, and I'm like, dude.
Well, see, that's the only thing stopping our government in this country from immediately taking away the guns from citizens at all is our Second Amendment right that says shall not be infringed, which means that even the laws that we agree upon, shall not be infringed means I can literally take a newborn baby and put a gun in his hand. Is that a good idea? Fuck no. Am I going to do it? No, but I can. But even the laws that we
How about-
agree with are actually unconstitutional against the Second Amendment.
How about we adapt all of this to go back to the Constitution and we just have old rusty muskets
Well, see,
and just give everyone a musket and
for
let
me-
them
for me-
fucking duel it out?
that's the
For
thing.
me,
though.
as a Canadian, let's say.
Oh yeah. Hold on, no. As a Canadian who's not able to bear
Like,
arms,
Yeah,
let me
and
see your thing.
I mean, I have guns and they are legal, and I can like go in my car with tons of gun and it's legal.
Right.
So people that want to have gun here, like they have it. It's not a. But you know they did like they changed a law recently in Canada where you can only have 5 bullets in a mag.
Yeah.
Any mag like. That's I don't know why they did it, but.
Well, see, that's a big
No,
problem
but
here in
just to-
America, because unless
just
you
to go
change
back,
out the clip, like every single clip that would hold like 5-10 rounds would not fit in any real gun here unless you had a modified clip. Then to be literally within the law, you would have to spend that money, $30, $40, $50 per clip to have that, which means to have any real capacity, you'd have to have 5, 6, 7 clips at a time, and it just doesn't make any sense, you know?
Does do they limit the amount of clips that you can have in Canada?
I don't know about that. So all of a sudden, all the clip we have here, they are illegal because they can hold more than 5. But the way I see it, okay, is like even in Canada, like you want to get the AK-47, like you can. It's going to be harder, like so. Only like how can I say, like the real like dangerous people with money, like criminals and stuff, can get it, but not your
average Joe.
teenager. Yeah, like it's still
Not like our issue in America
But
where
for me,
we have
like,
all these
as
kids.
a Canadian, I was just scrolling like the news, and like one day I was like, okay, there was a mass shooting, like I think it was in Texas or I don't know where.
Yeah.
The week after, I see other, and the next day I see like American are like I don't know, what can I say there, but like going at the Constitution saying we can have like more weapon or something like that. I don't know what it was exactly. But for me, I just thought it was like fun to see like those mass shooting news and then this about guns.
No.
And, like something feels wrong from my point of view. Like, but
It was
just scrolling the news. I don't know like all the details about it. So
it was very distasteful for that to continue as their plan. Like they continue with the NRA conference in Texas, mind you, after that school shooting that took so many kids' lives. They continue at the NRA conference, and people were bolstering and enjoying their big old guns and fucking rocket launchers. Like, how the fuck? Why do you have a rocket launcher? What use is
Because
a rocket
you
launcher to
can.
you?
Come on.
Because you can. Because this is America. Fuck yeah. Go figure.
guess
But
y'all
that's
wanna
so distasteful. And then it's been legal to I think it's open carry in Tennessee, where I'm from, where you can just have a gun and nobody gives a fuck. Which I think is also very distasteful following all of these mass shootings. And it does happen sequentially. Like, you get one mass shooting, and then somehow you just get more coverage of more and more shootings throughout the nation. And it's just absurd to me. I don't want to take
it
anyone's
is.
guns away.
It is, but you know, there are a lot of red flags that happen. I mean, literally, you remember the Las Vegas shooting, Keck?
Yeah, I do.
Whatever happened to that?
You know, whatever happens to any shootings.
Well, I mean, the reason why I asked that is because, you know, there were red flag after red flag after red flag that were always thrown up about that, especially, you know, the fire rate, the amount of weapons that were in the man's room. And you're going to sit there and tell me that no bellhop, he literally brought case after case, 25 cases in the matter of a couple of days. Bellhop's working a schedule. Somebody should have said, look, this doesn't look like a regular suitcase. This dude's got 5, 6, 7 brought up at a time. What is going on? These red flags were literally ignored. Now, you know, there are reports of a fire rate being higher than what he could do with bump stock rifles and things like that. videos where you could literally see muzzle flashes in different spots, not from his window, from different spots around in these cameras. And there's a lot of questions that were shown up, but they were just like, oh, mass shooting, see, we need to take away guns. And then these red flags started to pop up and it disappeared. It was memory.
Yep.
You got Uvalde, like, I don't know if you've seen the footage from Uvalde. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, at
Yes.
first, before anything was brought up with that, at first it was like, okay, well, the door was propped open. That's how the guy got in. Now, from the same footage, well, the door was closed, but for some reason it didn't lock. And then again, from the same footage is, well, it was closed after he had come into the building. And then, we come to find out that this dude was having, shootouts with cops even before he walked into the building, and he casually just walks in from that footage. They sat there for 77 minutes while they could hear kids bleeding out, crying out, and things like that. They stood around and did
a lot
nothing.
of questions. They did nothing. Yeah, they were extremely late. It was almost purposeful in their latency to react, which is still baffling to me. I don't understand that. And I guess I don't know if you want to get into conspiracies and stuff. The NRA conference was soon to be held after that shooting. Maybe it was a political lean to get firearms or legalize and continue carrying firearms rather than revoke that right so that the average citizen could protect people
Okay, so
from a mass shooting like that.
I got somebody in the chat here saying, hello, can I join? And I just got a little request here. Let's see. Bring this up. Let's see who we're talking about. I guess this is... See if we can bring him in real quick.
I have a question for you, Senpai, after. I want to know your opinion about it.
Go ahead.
I mean, as an American, like, why would you have gun, like, in the first place? Like, just tell me, why do you need a gun? Like,
dude, as crazy as
like
fuck
to
as
defend
everybody...
yourself, like, whatever, just...
Well, okay, me being in the South, multiple reasons. The first one being, as crazy as people are at this point in time, I need to defend myself from those people, There are times where, like, even we almost, here in Alabama, we almost had a Uvalde incident where a guy was trying to break into a school and they put him down beforehand, But for me, I do carry. If I'm not on the clock, or, I've actually got it sitting right next to me here anyway, but if I'm not on the clock, I either have it on my side or within arm's reach, because
Okay, so next...
my neighbor could get mad at me and
like-
try to run up in the building. I'm on vacation. I don't have my
Yeah,
mic
listen
with.
to that, like
Okay.
if I'd ask your neighbor the same question, they would probably answer, like, have a similar, like, answer.
Well,
So,
there's
from my point
also...
of view, I'm like in America, you want a gun because your neighbor have a gun, and the other neighbor want one because the other one have a gun. So that just make like.
Well, I mean, if anything happens
you know
to
what
them...
I mean? It's just
Right.
like
I mean, if anything
when I
happens to
ask
them...
people, they're like,
I'm-
because I can shoot other people with guns. Like, dude, what if nobody have gun? Like, nobody can be dangerous.
Dude,
so you
you're,
don't have to
you're
have a
never going to
gun
get
'cause
rid of
you
them.
know,
Look, you're never going to get rid of them. We can actually 3D print them.
I
We
mean,
got
look at Canada.
metal 3D printers.
Yeah, but
We got plastic 3D printers. There are multiple blueprints online for any weapon. You can 3D print this shit yourself.
yeah, I know.
You're never
about
gonna
that.
get rid
I know,
of it.
like you can. Yeah, but like if you look at Canada, like here, ask anybody why they have gun. Okay, the only answer you're going to get is for hunting.
Well,
So
I mean,
I think it's just funny in America because they're like, because I need to protect myself. But
Yeah.
everybody like say this, so it's kind of a circle. You know what I mean?
but
As
I mean,
my
like
point
I
of
said,
view from where I am, because here nobody have gun. Nobody's going to break in my house with a gun. I mean, they can get hunting rifle, but you can't like. as effective hunting rifle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
But like I said, here in the South, there are different reasons. Number one, for defense. Number two, it wasn't but a year and a half, 2 years ago. We actually had a brown bear walk down. Literally, they shut it off the whole damn road. But we had a bear walk down one of the main streets in our biggest cities around. You know, so if we have a bear willing to do that, my ass needs some kind of protection. You know?
You said, if we have a bear willing to do that, like the bear had any cognizance of what he was doing. Poor fucking bear.
No, this bear did, because this motherfucker's walking down one of the busiest streets in this town. All right, there are cars going everywhere, and he's just lazily walking the fuck around. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, he's like, don't fucking disturb me. I'm a goddamn bear. Just leave me alone. I'm not gonna go.
Now
go for
imagine
your
if he got
wives and-
pissed, and I'm just standing on the side of the road, and he decides to charge me. What the fuck am I gonna do? My little 170-pound ass ain't gonna do shit.
Did you
Bears-
provoke the bear?
Bears don't really have to have a
I mean, you
need
don't-
to be provoked.
what would you do? Like, you would shoot
looked
him
at him
like right there,
crossway.
like, if there's a bear. Like,
Now, my little 45 that's on my side probably ain't gonna do much but piss him off.
I was about to say, I was like, that's not going to be very suitable
just get away and call the
defense.
people for the job. That's
Maybe
it.
after like 4 or 5 rounds, he may back down and just be like, "Wait a minute, I'm in pain," you know. But
Nah, that adrenaline is pumping. That lazy bear has now turned into a fucking pissed off bear because Senpai was striding down the street while the bear was just lazily walking and he fucking shot the thing.
Pretty
and
much.
now that bear is pissed because your little pussy firearm didn't do shit.
to him, no.
Exactly.
If there's a bear, just growl. Just scream.
But no, it's
Good. You just pissed off a huge fucking bear that was just minding his own business. Wait, how the fuck did he get there in the first place? Did you say it was a brown bear?
Yes. Well, heck, you kind of close to where I am. You know how it is. Like, you wound up in the city.
We have black
once you
bears. Black bears
brown
are
bears,
like
black
big
bears,
pansies.
whatever they are, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's totally different.
No, it's not totally different because you piss off one, it's going to be the same reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, black bears are freaking pansies. You can look at them wrong and they'll run away in fear.
But still, you
I
can
don't know
take care
about
of that, just
that.
with hunting rifle. So
But yeah, I mean, I don't
Dude.
want to. I'm not gonna carry around a hunting rifle just because there's a bear walking down the main street of one of our biggest cities. You know,
Nah, I know,
that's
but I
not
mean-
the thing. But
yeah, but like, just keep it in mind. Like in America, you have a gun because the guy next to you have one. So
Right,
That's,
and
it.
Yes.
That's my opinion on it.
if he decides to go crazy,
Or some people would say like you need to keep like the population armed because if otherwise the government take over us or stuff like that. And the
Right.
people, that's why they have gun. They get ready for World War III and stuff.
but if the
But
person
even-
next to me
even-
has a gun and decides to go crazy, I want to be able to have a gun to put him down because, as
Yeah,
we
but
have seen,
that's what I'm saying. You
cops
know,
are
it's a
not there to
circle. It
protect
doesn't
you.
make sense. Like,
cops are there to
but if the
clean
other
up the
person
mess.
doesn't have a gun in the first place, how can this scenario happen?
Dude, criminals are gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like, drugs have been illegal in this country for decades, and people still have meth and heroin and crack running around on the
Yeah, I know,
streets.
but like here we got tons of criminal, but they don't need gun all the time.
1 second.
You know, they don't shoot on people for no reason. Like if I mean, that's my point of view on it.
no, I
You
will
need a gun
admit, you know,
because the other
like
guys have a gun. And it's
mass shootings.
like I'm in Canada, nobody have gun. Like I can like go out, nobody carry a gun. So whatever happen, nobody's going to start shooting.
Here's my mindset. If I had a gun, I'd feel responsible to carry that gun with me wherever I went because I purchased it, and I'd feel bad not having it all the time, especially if a scenario popped up where I really, really needed it, which luckily has never happened, thank God. But the thing is like, if someone wants to fucking kill me, they can snipe me at my mailbox. Having a gun holstered to my hip is not going to help me. And I know that's one particular scenario where it's one person that wants to kill me or someone that became unhinged or has a mental health issue, whatever it be. There's
just
a lot
threw the
of,
new guy off the
there's a
map.
lot of debate about that. Oh God, there's there's a lot of debate with all that, but I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm living my life in constant fear and paranoia to the point where I need to carry a gun at all times because I'm paranoid someone's gonna shoot me.
Well, it's not.
If someone wants to
paranoia.
shoot me, they're gonna shoot me, and
dude,
they better be a fucking good shot. They better actually fucking kill me because I'm not gonna live my life like that, you know?
No, but I mean, it's the whole thing of, okay, you got that aspect as well, but with that included, if somebody's gonna shoot you and you have something to fire back with, you know, you can stop that shit. Like, look at that.
If
Look at that
it's
one.
premeditated and they're trying to shoot me and I don't have enough reaction time to respond and carefully, strategically shoot them, which a lot of people do not have firearm training that own firearms, which is terrifying, and I shoot a kid instead, I would rather just be dead. Or
That's
if
true.
I shoot anybody, any type of collateral damage is completely possible, especially depending on the type of firearm that you carry.
That's true. But if there were people that were armed with training, do you think something like Columbine
Yes.
would have been so bad? Or maybe the Batman movie theater shootings? Do you think that would have been so bad?
No, you pose a very, very good point with that. Yes, and that's the other side of the coin. There's always another side of the coin.
Right. And,
But-
you know, you also got to look at, what is it, Switzerland? You know, they do mandatory training, and if you want a firearm, they'll issue it to you at 16 years old. Now, here in this country, 16? Fuck no. That's way too fucking young. But if we did some kind of mandatory training, you know, even with people that don't like firearms, I do agree with that. At least they know
I
something about it and they
totally
respect that
agree.
power, you know.
They
But
need a proper course, but listen, they can't even get that shit straight with driver's ed in the South. Like, we gotta start smaller. Like, they're like, oh, little Jimmy Bob, just go ahead and hop in the truck, and we'll pretend like you drove with a person that knows how to drive, even though me, myself, Billy Bob, don't know how to drive. Like,
yeah,
we
that
gotta
was
start smaller.
It was a
Like,
joke. It was a
But
joke
no,
for
I think
my
mandatory-
driver's ed too. Yes.
yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, and it shows because nobody knows how to drive. But it's stuff like that. Like, are people actually going to take these courses seriously? Who's there to? Are we going to have the funding to make sure that that is going to be actually effective? I would love that. I think that's a great idea. I'm like, I love
Well, see, you got a lot of cops.
Switzerland's idea.
You got a lot of cops and, you know, retired cops and a lot of military vets here that are ready, willing, and able to do that. And those are the people that would respect this kind of thing a lot. You know? So why not give them the opportunity to train you?
I agree. But you know what? Even the cops don't have proper mental health training. They don't know how to de-escalate without escalating. So you're already giving a job to someone, not every, you know, I'm not going to generalize
Proven
here,
cop.
but I would say the task force, it doesn't give adequate training on mental health and how to de-escalate, all that stuff. So already we're creating more problems from a pre-existing problem, I think.
Yeah.
If we can
Okay,
reformat
so-
that entire thing from the ground up,
Nix
that's
the
going to have its
cops.
issues too, but it's better.
Nix the cops from it. What about retired military?
That could be good.
I mean, they have the most respect. They know what it is. They've gone through hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of training with these weapons.
Yeah, that's something I could get down with. They need to have a very thorough screening before they can participate in a program like that, which that's another issue because we suck at making sure screening actually is functional and does what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to
There's a lot
winnow
about
out the people that are
America that sucks, though.
it's supposed to winnow out the people that are unfit to do a certain job. Oh, that was good. Fuck you.
I do
Yeah.
agree with that. There is a lot you do need to work on, but we need to get started somewhere with that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. nothing is going to be fail-safe. Like, you're going to have issues and you're going to have bad things happen. That's just a part of life. But
Right.
there's so much that goes into it. There needs to be a lot of reform from the very basic, the very fundamental.
That
You know.
definitely is true.
Just the ground up. Yeah. I see what you're saying, and I agree. It would be good. I would much rather we follow the Swiss way and we train people appropriately and we actually follow through and we do recertification.
Oh,
Which I think,
that's definitely got to be a thing.
Yes, and needs to be a thing. You need to have a test to make sure that you are still complying and doing the things that you're supposed to do that you went through
Right.
when you first applied to get a firearm.
All right.
You need consistency, just with everything. You need consistency with everything.
Okay. All right, so let's get into a few matches here. Play around and have some fun. Let's see. Do we have 4v4 Big TKO? Here we go.
Yeah! Get it while it's hot. It's not going to be around for much. Actually, it's going to be around for a while, but...
No, this one expires in 5 more days. Okay, yeah.
Yeah! I was like, finally, they just need to make 4v4 constant.
They do. 3v3, 4v4, you can... The third slot you can
Hit me, Bob.
fix. But there's a lot about this game that definitely needs to be fixed. By the way...
Yeah, we're talking about foundational fixing. This game is one of them.
Yeah. By the way, because I am streaming and we haven't normalized our servers that we're bouncing off of, I'm going between 50 to 100 ping. So I'm going to be irritated a bit.
That makes for even better content. I love an irritable senpai. That sounded really weird. Sorry.
Yeah, that did. That straight
It
up
did.
fucking
Yeah,
did.
I didn't. Everything I say it always sounds so bad. Why?
It's who you are, and I love it.
This is really heating up. I can see the fire burning in the
It's
eyes
an
of the
illness, I
approach
swear.
all the
Oh,
way
great.
here.
Fantastic.
Hey, at least it's not the sniper balls.
No. I'm going to get thrown off the map at least 80 times. Me and my ideas are going to plunge off.
All right, let's see what we got here.
TKO.
Woohoo!
Round 1. Knock out more opponents than the other team to win.
What data server are you on?
I'm probably Miami at this point. Oh, Jesus, I can't do shit. All right.
Whoops, me either.
Blue team takes the lead.
Yep. All right, let's get into it.
It's okay, senpai. It's just a warm up.
It's the first match, whatever. You got
He
somebody chasing us,
says,
guys.
begrudgingly.
Behind us.
Well, I wish he would. Oh, wait,
Oh, he's
where?
on top.
Fucking! You even warned me, and I was like, meh. Yeah, take that.
Gold team takes the lead.
I'm gonna kill somebody. See, we should just arm people with dodgeballs. I would love
A
to
lot of
smack some
people would have
in the
broken
face.
faces. If you're telling me I can throw dodgeballs at people all day, a lot of people are going to have broken faces.
Ah,
Start.
I have a broken ass right now. They got me right in the booty.
Dude,
Ah, damn it, he got me. No.
You little,
Aw,
you brat.
oh.
That was my friend. Shit. Thanks, Bob. What a champ.
Everhart looks to be doing something here. Oh, he just got hit by a
Very
train.
nice. Ah, idiot. As I do nothing. I hear. Oh, it's my teammate. I heard pitter patter. Okay, yeah. See, I can't do anything but get caged. Good job, teammate. You're fantastic. You're stellar. I swear I don't usually suck.
Dude, they just stand in front of the train. Why?
There they are. All right. Ooh. Why am I not locking on to shit? There we go.
Oh god.
Bully the hell out of him. Ah, ran into the tree. Hell yeah. All right.
Man, they do not do well with trains.
Apparently not. But Apple had hit one too, so I'll hit one eventually.
Eventually.
Either that or throw myself off the map. We all know how I do that.
Yes. Don't walk into a train like they do.
Blue team takes the lead.
Oh god.
Bombing,
Oh god.
bombing. Oh. What?
I got rid of you. Just to
I
make
don't know
sure you
how I
didn't
was
get
taken
killed.
out, but
No,
that's
but
okay.
should I get the bomb? Like, was it free kill?
Hit him.
Oh no.
Ah, damn it.
You
I was
brat.
above his head.
Kill him. Oh, I should kill this guy.
I tried to pass it back to you, but it went the wrong way. One above you, cat.
Sounds about right. Nice.
It's all tied up.
I love that I'm not doing much. It's great.
All right, long range on the other side, all four. Near me.
Okay,
They're
okay,
bombing.
okay.
Double bomb, double bomb.
There are. Oh wow.
My bad. My bad. That was on me. Oh, shit.
Fuck. Idiot. You suck.
There you go, Cook.
Gold team takes the lead.
Man, I have got to adjust my sensitivity. This is graceful. I'm
top.
moving too fast.
Oops. Sorry, Apple. You got two splitting off. One behind you guys.
Hit them.
Gold team.
Damn. I meant to catch that one. I'm catching lag spike.
Above. Ah.
Oh shit,
Oh,
that's
great.
a train!
Fantastic.
Oh, it's coming.
I'm gonna die. I feel I'm gonna die.
No, you're not.
No.
Out.
You brat.
Behind us. Two up top,
Oh.
one down below. Ah, passing straight to him.
This map is exceptionally bad for glitching. Let me tell you. Oh, that didn't work, did it?
Threw his ass into the train. What'd you get?
Ah, you brat.
Bombing, bombing, bombing.
No, me. I have one heart. You must use me to your full advantage.
Frenzy.
Get him.
Use it to
Arch
your
it.
full advantage. Get him, get him.
My bad, threw you the wrong way.
I don't know why I just sounded like Mario, but
Mamma mia.
no.
I don't see anything yet. All right, they're bombing.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, you guys are not gonna catch up. Ah, damn, with 19, can you chill? Actually, don't chill. You're doing great. You're doing great, fam.
19 KD. That's what.
Okay. I have to use the restroom real fast. Sorry to announce that to the world, but I gotta go.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good game, good game.
The green screen's messing up again. Whatever.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so we have Apple Hat with us. He's cannot speak. So this is going to be, like I was saying before, this is going to be some different content than what we normally do. Like, I've been trying to get Keck to come on and talk to us for a while, but with her job, Keck's a hard one to pin down. So, it's light. This is pretty much the only way that I could actually have her talking with us and still have some fun in her everyday normal life. So, but yeah, like we were talking before, and we kind of got sidetracked onto weapons and everything. Like that is a, oh my god, let's cancel that. That is a thing. Nancy Pelosi is her whole visit to Taiwan is kind of up in the air at this point because of kind of saying what they have said. And we do have naval units moving into the South China Sea at this point in time. It's looking like we're heading to war with China. And, you know, it's probably been pretty much an inevitable thing for minutes. But yeah, it's looking pretty bad. Fuck the green screen. I don't care. It's going to look fuzzy. Whatever. I'm not dealing with it. So, that's... I'm still... I know it sounds bad. It really does. But it looks like we're going to head to war no matter what. So, let's just get this shit popping with Pelosi being shot the fuck down. Let's be honest. Who in this fucking country likes her ass? But welcome back, Bob. Oh, did we go back to the waiting room? Yep. Okay. While we're waiting for Tech to come back. How did I do that? She didn't have... Damn it!
I am back!
Welcome back. Alright,
Oh, thank
so, Tech. Next topic.
Oh, goodness.
What you want to talk about? Come on, don't shy away from it.
Let's go the old-fashioned route of the cyclical issue of abortion.
Let's do it. What you got?
Oh, I thought you had something for me.
Oh no, you starting it. It's your conversation.
Okay. What is your general kind of what is your general idea of abortion, of what should be legal? Should it be illegal? Are there certain circumstances that are, you know, it's okay, and certain circumstances it's not okay?
Let's start with this. Let's start with this. Let's gain some kind of understanding before we dive into this kind of topic. Now, okay, for instance, everything for childcare and everything says that life begins at conception. When do you consider life to begin?
I do not believe life starts at conception. And that is a complicated question, because what do you think life entails? For me, I think it's not a heartbeat. I think it is a functioning synaptic nervous system that is able to send relay messages to the brain. And that implies that there is a fully formed brain. Not fully formed, because the brain doesn't actually fully form until
25, yes.
21.
Well, 21 for women, 25 for
guys.
men.
Yeah, exactly. And that's debatable too. But so yeah, no, none of us young people. I'm just kidding.
Hey, speak for yourself. My brain's already fully formed and it's still dysfunctional. All right.
That frontal lobe, that prefrontal cortex just had a little latency developing. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty much.
Our inhibition. Nah, it's just our inhibition and executive functioning. I'm not insulting you.
That and probably a lot of drug use as a kid.
Yeah, that'll fuck some shit up.
Still
But
trying to get
it kind of goes down. It goes down to those terms. So I don't necessarily consider the first trimester to be a functional life form. It's functional to what it needs to be as the grounds for creating life, but and it is technically life. It's a collection of cells, and then you get a little fetal thing that resembles a sea monkey, but it has no it has no cognizance. It has no ability to. Why are you aiming that at me constantly? Am I?
I gotta do something with that.
Are you scared of me? Am I offending you? I'm sorry. I think that once a thing is able to think, kind of like not form thoughts, but feel pain specifically, but be able to form synaptic functions that aren't just, typical cerebellum motor movements. So that entailing like practice breathing. They actually, I can't remember the gestation period of which they can actually like start to contract and move their diaphragm, but they're like practice breathing and they can swallow. I think it's like, I know it's the second trimester.
Yeah.
But I think at the point at which something can feel pain, which is way past the point of pretty much any pregnancy of which you're going to get aborted, I think is life. I don't want something to be in pain.
Right. You were talking about synapses forming, things like that. Your brain actually firing.
Synapses.
You do realize that starts at about 9, right?
Those are different synaptic functions. You don't have any nociceptors until the second trimester. Actually, 28 weeks, I think, is you don't have any nociceptors that actually fully form a nervous system that can send signals to a brain until about, I'd say, upper 20 weeks. So that thing cannot feel a single thing, and it can't register pain. It's just there, and it has a heartbeat.
Right.
Which sounds monstrous, but for me to dismiss, but...
The whole heartbeat thing, it starts really about 6 weeks. The brain starts developing...
the heartbeat
thing. The nervous system, like you were talking about, that starts developing in 9. But, you said you don't want it to feel pain. I can agree with that. I really can. I can agree with that at all, because the baby may not be able to yell out and still, but I mean, to be ripped apart, that's kind of fucked up.
I mean, the thing is a lot of abortions take place pretty early on, and it's usually done medicinally. There's a medicine. And it sucks. It actually sucks really bad for the woman. Like, I've talked to a lot of people that have had abortions, and let me tell you, they don't like sharing the experience because they're ashamed. They feel they made a really hard decision. Sucked for them, but they they couldn't bring a baby into this world at the time for whatever reason, and that is none of my business. Let me tell you, that's none of my fucking business. That is between her and herself. But
Okay, now you're kind of getting
it-
into a little bit else there. Is it really between her and herself? Should a man be involved? Should the father of that child be involved in that?
That is where it gets really tricky, actually, because legally, if they're not married, it doesn't really matter, does it? He's not responsible for anything.
No, he's responsible for everything. If the woman keeps the child, he's on the hook no matter what. He's got no say in it.
Yeah,
Especially
he
here
is.
in the South, you know that, because if the woman takes him to court, he's on the hook for most of his income. Well, damn near a good percentage of his income, to the point where
Yeah.
he can't take care of himself anymore.
Yeah,
Without
I did
being
misspeak
with
on
you,
that.
he can't take care of himself. And you get all that money, and let's just be honest, with a lot of that, it's just your hair did, your nails did, you're living it up on his money. Are you really taking care of that kid? The bare necessities? Yes.
So there you go. You kind of
you'd be calling him.
You kind of played into it.
You'd be calling him for
Kinda played
food,
into it.
even though that's what that money's supposed to be for, you know?
You kind of played into it. So does he want to be responsible for that? That is a completely different ethical story.
If he doesn't, you think you should be able to terminate his rights and just walk away completely monetarily free?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
If he does want to be around,
let's just say gestationally, he doesn't really. All it took was 5 seconds. I'm being mean.
5 seconds.
Maybe
Damn.
30 seconds. No,
At least give him a couple of minutes.
You're contributing half of the genome to a little booger. But gestationally speaking, I don't think he has any responsibility or any real say over a woman's body of which she is carrying this thing. And I say this thing
agree with
as
that.
nicely as I can.
I will agree with that. It's literally, it is her body, her choice. But if the man
It
wants
comes
the
down to
kid,
autonomy.
if the man wants
That
the
is
kid, though,
something. Listen, that is something I do not. I don't even come close to trying to figure out that conundrum. That is a difficult topic. Because what do you do? He wants it, but he doesn't really have a right in it, and that sucks. And pick both of you, and whatever. I don't know. That's a difficult one. I'm not really sure where I stand on that, and it's a very good thing to pose.
well,
As
okay,
an issue.
a baby can actually be removed and damn near survive close to 100% at 24 weeks. 21 weeks is kind of pushing it, but that's where it really does kind of kick into, viability kind of situation. But at 24 weeks, that baby, with the help of the doctors and everything, that baby can survive. Now, you would be showing a bit, that kind of thing, but the baby can also be medically removed and still be able to gestationally grow and function like a normal human being would.
Now, what are the statistics on that of not developing any medical conditions being removed like that and not growing in the womb?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know any statistics on that. I'm not quite sure. I know that that's a possibility, but I know with that comes medical complications a lot of the time.
I mean, there could be some medical complications that could occur at such an early gestational development as far as that goes. I'm not totally sure on the numbers myself as far as that goes, but the child has a better chance of surviving and being a somewhat healthy functioning person at 24 weeks. It can be
Yeah.
pushing it
Oh,
once you go
yeah.
as young as 21 weeks. But
Yes, I agree.
if the man wants it and there's some contention, You know, if he's willing to go through the hell and the pain of being a single father and everything. Who are you to say, no, you can't do that? And I'm going to kill this child no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
But then it comes down to the admittance of carrying said father's, which is another ethical dilemma, withholding that information. He doesn't have to tell him that he's pregnant with his baby.
No.
And who knows?
He's never going to, especially if it's like a
actually
one-night stand kind of thing.
Yeah, and who knows if it's actually his child or not. I haven't
Brandon.
seen any, and I haven't seen any cases where a father of a potential child, like a potential father of a potential child, was like, no, you're going to have this baby.
Well, I mean, there is actually a lot of videos out there, but one that was made really, really famous was a dude that was screaming outside an abortion clinic, please don't kill my baby, please don't kill my baby. She walks in there anyway, and the dude's just sitting there crying for
Lo
the
and
entire
behold,
time.
they go on Maury, and it turns out that it's not actually his baby. It's like brother's baby, and the unfolding, brilliant.
But to be honest with you,
Yeah, no,
even if it was a one-night kind of stand for me, I'm married now, but even if it was a one-night kind of stand for me, I'm 36 years old. I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life. I've never really been that cautious as far as that goes. But even if it was a one-night stand, if some woman came up to me and said, I'm pregnant with your child, for me, that's my child. Want it, so there would have to be a contention between that, because okay, so we don't know each other because it was a one-night stand kind of thing. You don't want the child, that's fine. Just I'm willing, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm able to be a father, even if it was just a single father at that point. Even if we don't get along, I'm still sure we can co-parent as long as you're not such a bitch about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's assuming she wants to co-parent, because if she's contemplating an abortion, there's a reason for it. She's not ready, she's not financially equipped, etc., etc., etc. She's got health complications that she fears for herself, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it might be, you gotta take all that into account. And I think that...
Oh, there it is. I didn't pick it up. Go ahead.
I think I would say the majority, and these are statistically based, a majority of Americans are socioeconomic. They don't have the finances. They're ill-equipped to have a baby. If a father wants to take financial control and take care of that baby and do all of that, then I think a lot of people would contemplate carrying to full term and actually delivering the child. Because it's not like a woman's like, oh yeah, you know what, I got knocked up and now I really want this abortion because that sounds like a great idea. It's a hard thing to cope with.
You'd be surprised. I don't know if you fuck around with TikTok a lot, but you would definitely be surprised at that shit. There are people who are on TikTok like saying, hey, I've had my 5th, 6th abortion. Just use me as a cum dumpster.
That is less than 8% of the...
It is.
That's less than 8% of the population.
No. Hold up. What you were talking about right there, okay? You're talking about rape, incest, and health of the mother.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying
things.
like repeat abortions. That is less than 8% of the population.
Repeat.
The majority of people
Yes.
that get abortions have only had one abortion. And then
maybe
the
two.
second statistic, 1, maybe 2. No. The majority are getting their first abortion. That's it. They're not repeat. That's just their. Then the second statistic is the people that have had 1 to 2 abortions, and that's a lot lower. That's like in the 30 percentile. And then there is the 3 to 4, 3 or more, and that is well below 8%, which is still a staggering statistic. Like 8% doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is.
Especially seeing as how there are damn near 100 or what? Damn near a million a year, somewhere close to that. Yeah, the X% of that is still a lot. And I mean that's just another form of birth control, you know. But all things it's concluded, you know, it's rape, incest, health of the mother, ectopic pregnancies, everything that is concerned with that still only makes up, in a broad spectrum of things, roughly around 8%. So that means 92% is all elective. Now there is a huge percentage of that is, you know, first abortion, and I understand that. I get
exactly.
it. You know, and
yes.
I was kind of like, at the very beginning of this whole thing, to me, it was just like, once the baby's viable, what's the fucking point? You know, what is the point of taking out a life if the child can be medically removed? It's okay. So we're a gaming channel now? No, Abel, I'm just doing this so I can talk to Keck and Bob, because this is apparently the only way I can get a hold of them. But, you know, it's Dr. Root kind of had me thinking a lot about it, you know, with his stance. You know, he was literally saying, you know, in his state, it's like 4,600 abortions happen every year. And most of them is to...
Nationally, it's about 800 and... less than 9.
In his state.
Yeah, but I mean nationally. 872,000.
Right. But for him, he was just saying, you know, it comes down to this. Okay? Roughly around 4,600 happen in his state. Okay? So, if you outright ban that, especially in a low poverty area, you're adding 4,600 kids to a system already overloaded.
Yeah, there's about, I want to say almost 500,000 kids in foster care.
Well, see, foster care is a different story. You know, foster care is actually meant to reunite kids with their family. Now, orphanages and things, that's a different story. That's a racket.
Not necessarily. There's not always a high reuniting.
No, there's not, and that's a problem in of itself.
You still have these kids in the system, and the adoption rate and the way of adopting is a fucking disaster. It takes forever. Like, if you want to adopt a kid, you gotta jump through hoops, which I understand. Yeah, but
not to the extent that we do, though.
No, if you're a 20-year-old and you're not equipped to have a child, and you don't have a social support system, and you have a baby, you're shit out of luck. You might get some government assistance like WIC, maybe SNAP, probably SNAP, not enough to cover you. You don't have the means to take care of a baby, but you know what? They're gonna make you jump through hoops to adopt a baby, but they're gonna make someone that is not equipped to have a baby.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play. While we're talking, we're just gonna play a little custom match because Apple's getting a little bit antsy. It's too big. No. Cancel that. But yeah, I there you go. BT, you can do that. But I mean, I get what you're saying about it all. I really do. You know, like I said, Dr. Root's been having me thinking a lot about it lately as far as that goes. You know, even I'm not going to say where you are. I know where you are. I'm not going to say where you are. But as far as that goes, could you imagine an outright ban on abortion where you are? How that would overload your area.
Is making my old throne arm itch for some action. If I didn't have to keep these airwaves rocking and rolling, it'd be over for you fools.
It would be a problem, especially with, you know, this country taking away as much from social programs and everything that we have done to ultimately, apparently, as far as we know, throw it into fucking $70 billion that we've given to Ukraine already. You know,
double team.
By the way, I'm gonna say this: if they can do that to give the other countries that much money, then they're already overtaxing us incredibly. Oh, shit. But I'm just, for me, it's just a kind of, damn it, it's a situation altogether of, I understand his point, but I don't think it should be able to be used as birth control. You know what I'm saying?
It's not okay. So listen, the majority of abortions that occur are actually they're on a birth control. They have a birth control that is ineffective for whatever reason, and that's why they have an abortion. It was not planned. They were protecting against themselves. That's the thing. It's not like they're using it as a form of. I know, right? It's not like they were like, oh, you know what? This is an easy way to like make sure I don't have a baby. Just get an abortion. It's not that. No one ever thinks that. And if they do, they're in the minority. I think it's, and this is, okay, listen, this is a weird thing, and I'm going to get a little bit tangent, but I'm a supporter of Planned Parenthood, but there's some things I'm a little bit iffy on, as in, Planned Parenthood will supply birth control, you know, whatever birth control methods, but people will still get pregnant, and then they take revenue from the people that are getting the abortions. And I'm like, this kind of seems, it's a little bit tricky. I'm not quite sure if there's something there, but it's a little bit questionable. The birth control is not always effective, and there was a stat that I saw that was like 9 out of 10 women that get pregnant and have unintended pregnancies are on fucking birth control, and usually birth control from somewhere like Planned Parenthood or the like. And so they get a abortion. And it's like, well, they're getting funds by having patients come in and get birth control and get counseling and all that. But a lot of those patients, and I need to look at the stats on it because I'm not entirely sure. I need to cross resources, but a lot of those people have had abortion.
Yeah.
And we're on birth control. Contraception isn't always effective, and
no, it's not. It's not. But you know, with
something.
me,
like people are going to have sex. That's just it.
Yes.
No matter the education, education is very important, but no matter what you do, people are going to get pregnant, especially those overly fertile people. Bless their hearts.
That is the thing. Like I know a dude who had a vasectomy. He had a vasectomy for like a year and a half, and him and his wife was just like, okay, so let's have another kid. He got unclipped, and within a month and a half, he was pregnant again. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
So there are those
I've
people
heard those
that
stories too.
overly produce within their ball sacks.
Or the women, they're just overly I don't understand. I'm like, how you just get pregnant so much and I'm not even trying. It just happens. Like, bro. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I know a woman who's had 5 kids, 2 abortions, and one went into foster care. One was given back to the father. But she was a disgusting person altogether. But yeah, I get your point with that.
Yeah. So, and again, that's something I need to do more delving into because it sounds so conspiracy ridden. I'm not sure, but it's curious. It's a curious thing.
Bob, do you have anything to say about any of this while you're over there murdering Keck? Apparently not.
It's a slight opinion, I guess, but from some people I've seen, I can see it should be done more. But like,
what are you trying to say? You saying I should have been aborted?
Whoa.
Yeah.
At the time, because like whatever. I just think it's the whole subject. Like I think it's scary because some girl like just crazy. They have a relationship with guy and then like because they want a kid, they don't tell it. Like it's
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin too.
For me, it's just scary. Thing that like it's the girl need to choose because she can. I think like To keep a baby, there should be like an agreement. I feel. Like if one of the two parties doesn't agree, like there's no baby. Then I feel. Like if the guy is like I want to keep it, but she's like you were saying earlier, like if there's not an agreement, like should have an abortion. In my opinion. Not up to the girl or the guy. It's an agreement. I feel.
So you're kind of
Because like I know a girl with 7 kids with like 7 different fathers, and they all have like problems, mental problems. And I mean, I'm not.
you're kind of
I'm not. I just think like in some cases like it should have been done.
you're kind of middle ground. Then it's just like a whatever situation to you.
Yeah, right. I
Okay.
don't think like it's you should be able to decide about it.
So let's put it into a
It's like
little bit
the
of
thing that it's
perspective.
illegal, like that's far-fetched. That's it.
Let's put it into a little perspective here. Take the law out of the situation for you as a whole, okay? If you had a woman pregnant, regardless if you've been with her forever or it was a one-night stand, if you had a woman pregnant, how would you feel if she just said, I'm getting an abortion?
I mean, whatever I feel, in my opinion, if there's not an agreement, there will be an abortion, because then it get all complicated. I feel like it's might be a weird opinion, but like if she wants to get an abortion, like I cannot say anything.
Well, like I said,
And anyway, like if she want to get an abortion, like then I don't want to have a kid with her anyway in the first place. It just have to be like I think that I mean people that know what they want. I think it's like I can say like from past experience. Let's say that. Like there's some girl like they want to have kid like no matter what with no matter who. That's scary. So, but then the guy is like, nah, I want you to get an abortion, and she's like, I'm keeping it. It's my body. It's like yes.
KO
Like,
Royale.
fucking scary.
It's survival of the fittest in the danger zone.
Some guys fell into trap and after they have to pay for it,
to win the match.
have to give money to the girl.
I'm gonna be honest, that's something I've never really heard before, though. You know, it's kind of like, I know guys are usually on the fence, kind of mid. Oh shit! I'm trying to pass balls to people.
For me, like I said, like it's really a two-way, like an agreement between the two persons.
You're just like, if it happens, it happens. It's kind of a whatever situation.
I mean, whether it was a one-night stand or not or whatever, like people have to agree together, or otherwise there should be like I feel.
I mean, that's how that's
Self-decision. It's a giving
what if
birth
you-
to a kid. Like he needs parenting. Like it's not a self.
What if you've been with a girl
kind of
for about a
it's
year
kind
or
of,
so, and she decides that, you know, like you said,
Besides
you know, you've been with the girl for about a year or so, you're already emotionally attached, you're already trying to build up something good. If she were to get pregnant and then just say, I don't want an abortion, and you say, well, if somebody wants to do that, that's not who I want to be with, how would you feel at that point? You know?
I mean, legally, you can refuse to like be the father here. Like if like before birth, like you can sign papers so you're not legally like you have no obligation to that kid. But again, I feel like it's super like a egotistic thing, whatever, selfish thing. Like for the girl to be like, oh no, I want to keep it. Like it should be a two things, an agreement again.
Okay.
I would tell her like, I don't know. I mean, if I can say like from my
at least you want to say is all you're saying.
Like, look, I'll talk about like my past experience. My ex-girlfriend, okay, I don't care if you say it. We've been together like 12 years, okay?
Right.
And in the last year, like we bought a house and then tried to have kid like 3 times, kind of. Like we were looking like at the calendar, like the period to make sure it was like the good moment to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it never worked. And like 2 months later, like she left me like out of the blue, like for I mean, some reasons, but it was like super fast and unexpected. And then she got with another boy like 1 week after, and the guy was chopped, and he did like go back with the, I don't know how to say it in English, but to be able to have kid again. Let's say.
Right.
And like 2 months after, she was pregnant. So I was like, dude, I'm so happy I'm not in that situation, kind of, because he didn't really care about having kid with me. It was a selfish thing. I want to have a kid and I don't like. So
Oh,
I
see?
just feel for the guy because it's just like, I mean, whatever, it's his choice, I guess. But I think like those type of girls are like scared. They know what they want. They want to have a kid and they don't care like.
Right.
Because we were together for 12 years, but in the end I was like, dude, he didn't really care about this whole like.
So you actually have skin in this game in this conversation.
I mean, not that much. And like to be honest, I don't really know if I was ready to have a kid myself. Like,
Well, you're never ready, dude.
I did agree like on the decision like to try it because I've been with her like for like 12 years and like I was living there and everything. But me myself, like I was not super sure. And I guess it did show somewhere, but like then for her it was not about her relationship. It was just about he wanted to have kids no matter what.
Right.
I don't know, that's weird. I feel it's not a good like. What can I say? Set up to have kids. Because a girl wants to have kids.
I kind of understand what you're saying. I get it. It's just, I don't know. For me, it just kind of feels like it's a, when you don't let at least the man have, when you don't have a conversation with a man, whether it be a one night stand situation, whatever, if you don't have that conversation to kind of come to some kind of agreement whatsoever with it, it just feels like to me it's too selfish. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we had that agreement and everything. Like, we were like both down for it. But then when she dumped me and had one like right after with another guy, I was like, okay. This whole
That's a
agreement,
problem.
like, was just an agreement. It was not about, you know what I mean? I was just like, okay, those
Right.
are crazy. Like, opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not a super like defined opinion. My bad.
All right, so this is, with Bob being the first real international person we've had on the show, I'm gonna grill you a little bit. But first, I gotta ask a question. I know your country is right above ours. Can you say things without being
these brothers
persecuted?
talk a big game, but are they
What do
all
you mean?
sizzle with no stick? Let's
Like,
see if they've been off
I know
more
you
than
don't
they can
have
chew.
some of the freedom of speech kind of situation that we do. Can you say things without being persecuted like you would in China? Like if you say
I
"fuck
mean,
Trudeau," you know, would you be?
It depends like on who you say it and like
KO,
if talked about like illegally or by like persecuted by the people around us.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about your government itself. If you were to say "fuck Trudeau," he needs to burn in hell. You know, I know
Yeah, I
that's
can
not
say
you
it.
saying it.
I
That's
can
me
say
saying.
it.
You can say that.
Yeah, pretty sure people do it all the time and they don't get persecuted for that at all. Because that's like freedom of speech.
See, I'm not
Just
really
your opinion
well
anyway.
versed in
It's
what
just
Canada does.
I mean, as long as you don't say like, okay, I'm going like to drop the bomb or whatever. Like,
Oh, of course
it's just
not.
an opinion, a point of view. So
I mean, there was an Alabama man
whatever.
who was arrested because he was planning to assassinate Joe Biden. So,
But also, I think it's if the person presses charge in some cases.
okay, so
Yes, face off time.
your freedom of speech in Canada is somewhat cold version of ours. Like it's you can't
if a
plan
person
for the
press
shit,
you
but
can get into trouble.
yeah, it's if they want to. Okay, I'm just trying to
Like,
gauge
there
so
was a
we don't go too
comedian
far
who
with
did,
you.
Like a comedian, like he said something about a guy like once, and the guy did
Yeah, and
millions to the guy for insulting him. But like that's
yeah, and there's a lot of, especially in Europe, like fucking comedians have a huge. Oh my god, comedians have a huge problem in Europe because they can't say shit. Fuck you, Peck. They literally can't say shit. A joke would get them arrested. So
you can say anything, racist stuff, whatever. Legally, like you won't get by this.
all right, so first thing I wanna ask you about here, Bob. The trucker convoy that happened.
We're back.
What do you think about that shit?
Oof, I don't know if you really want to hear it. I think they should
No,
have
I
like,
do.
put more pressure, and it should like be like more violent. But they were too pacific, in my opinion. It's sad to say that, but like when you like go crazy a little bit, the government moves. As long as you're pacific and like they are just laughing. They're like, okay, they are right there and like disturbing a little bit, but. Again, like it's no big deal. They will still do what they want because there's not enough pressure, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of crazy, but that's my opinion on. That's something I've learned like with time. Violence is bad, but it can like. What I
Look
mean,
who's the top dog.
I'm not talking about like hurting people or stuff. Just like
I get your
even
point.
more pressure. I feel.
I get your point because I'm gonna be honest. There are a lot of times where here in America, I'm just like, yeah, let's just get the Civil War over with. Hey, weed out the stupid. You know, but
My opinion about like if you want to compare like United States to Canada, I think in Canada we are like too tough, and I think like in America people go too hard, kind of. Toward like the government and like the law and whatever the constitution or the states.
when it comes to
I feel like
us here in America, no, y'all are like, you say sorry for saying half words, you know? Where
I mean it depends.
we're gonna cuss each
because
other
I'm
out
French
and
Canadian.
just say
I'm
deal
not,
with it.
like
So
very different where I am. Just so you know, like
Right.
Canadian English, like Ontario and like those things like different. Very different in my opinion.
I don't know why I thought Keck was on my team with that. But no, I mean as far as like
Final showdown.
look, from an American kind of situation, like it's always contested for us whether it should be
Gold wins.
it should be violent or it should be peaceful kind of situation. It's always a
I mean,
in the
for you,
moment
it
kind
should
of thing.
always be peaceful because you have guns. Here we don't have any guns. Even if people put pressure, like they know people can have guns. It's kind of it cools down the situation.
Well-
you know what I mean? Even if it's get like
The protests that we have here in
The-
America that actually do have guns is 100% peaceful. There's never been, not to my knowledge, there's ever been a protest with guns involved where like
no,
people
but,
have
like, there will not
mass
be shootouts.
stood up with guns and something has happened, you know? Now there are protests that have happened, especially, you know, with the Kyle Rittenhouse situation where somebody did have a gun, very few people had a gun and something happened. There are things like that, but
But I can add something after Senpai, like
what's up?
finish what you wanted to say. Like I say like you need to put pressure if you want like things to change. And like here in Quebec, we had this crazy like things with the COVID, like we had like the vaccine passport,
Right.
and I am not vaxxed, so I couldn't like go to Walmart because you had to have a QR code,
Right.
get scanned so they make sure you're vaxxed and you're allowed to enter the store. For me, that's like way crazy. Economically speaking, it's a very bad idea, I feel, but like whatever the opinion, it's not to get in this topic, but after they had the convoy in Ottawa, like 1 or 2 weeks after, they just for all of a sudden, you know, like, and they said it was because like the cases were getting like smaller and like COVID was like less dangerous, kind of, but like it was right after the convoy, so
Right. Well, let's just be honest. COVID wasn't what they made it out at all.
I mean, here I tried that they in Quebec they tried to be like over like careful with it. It's not a bad idea necessarily, but we had like curfew and vaccine or like that's
Right.
crazy. But most of the people here like think it's normal, and I don't. People are scared, so for good reason, I guess.
It would, okay, I kind of understand.
That was weird. Like in the United States, like yes, they did put some measure, but it lasted like not long compared to us. Like we had like vaccinal passport for 3 years. And like they
That's
did
some
remove
bullshit
it,
right away.
But now
like
they say
that,
the cases are going higher, and we have an election in October, and I'm saying like right after this they did remove it like before the election also.
yeah. Well, I
But
just,
whatever. That's another topic, yeah, but
well, I just, okay, as far as that goes, I'm going to say here in the United States with the, oh my God, here in the United States with the, you know, the whole trucker convoy, we were rooting y'all on. We were really expecting something to be something. That was incredibly peaceful. Ah, shit. It was incredibly peaceful. Y'all were cleaning shit up in the street. Like, we wouldn't even do that here in America. You know? Y'all were taking care of your neighborhood. You were... Okay, so your honking got a little loud for a minute. Who the fuck cares? Really? You know, we heard news reports about people in Canada having, like, PTSD from all the honking. Like, come the fuck on. Your little baby bitch ass feelings got hurt for a minute for something that meant a fuck to your people. And so apparently you have PTSD from that. We were getting reports like that, but dude, from here in America, from what we were seeing with our news media, with what was being reported from regular people, it was a contrast day and night. Like our news media trying to make y'all out to be evil as hell because you went against the government kind of situation.
it was like the first time. Not the first time, but
Well, but from everything that we were seeing with the trucker convoy, as far as that goes, with like little videos that came out from the people and everything like that, like nothing about it just seemed like y'all were out for blood in any way. No, it wasn't just like some kind of violent uprising like Kazakhstan, where they literally took their leadership either hostage or murdered them. You know, it wasn't that kind of situation, which actually good up to Kazakhstan because y'all motherfuckers did some shit. Y'all are literally oppressed as fuck. Everything that I know about that country, y'all won, and good ups to you for that shit. But I mean, it wasn't to that extent there in Canada where that is included. But what really struck me really fucking hard about that and really pissed me off is the people that were involved in the convoy. You know, the people that actually donated to anybody in the convoy, like their money was seized, like they couldn't access funds or anything like that. Even if you did it in like cryptocurrency or anything like that, like your bank account was frozen, you couldn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that should have ever been a thing.
to prevent it.
Well, it wasn't a preventing. It was more along the lines of like it was almost communist control at that point. Okay, so you disagree with us? Fuck you. You can't live. You know, you can't do shit. And that's what struck me wrong with it, because there in Canada, y'all don't have the same shit that we do as far as that's concerned. Okay? Y'all don't have the same rights and everything that we have. I get that. I understand. But you are our closest cousin. And it disturbs me. Like, I will say this, however you feel about it, and I want to get your judgment on that as well, but it disturbs me that we have somebody like Justin Trudeau, who is literally a fucking dictator sitting on the border. That scares the shit out of me, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, wait till you see the Prime Minister of Quebec if you think Trudeau is. But yeah, I mean, honestly,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about Canada, but
politics and like, I don't know. I don't like people like they're not even like aware of their rights most of the time. To be honest, not like in the United States, you know, like your rights.
you'd be surprised how many people fucking don't. All right.
I mean, I know. I feel it's quite a feeling. I feel like y'all are more aware.
We are.
But it's not like I care about like my rights, kind of. Like, you know what I mean? I do what I have to do, and that's it. Like, just my life, kind of.
All right, so let me ask you a serious question, and you can decline to answer if you want to. How do you feel about Trudeau?
I mean, I don't even have an opinion on it. For me, politics has always been a shoulder. Like goes deeper than like use the government kind of.
No.
I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I don't know what he did, and like I think he's bad like all the other, and that.
Did I just say, Bob, fuck you? Sorry.
What kind of struck me wrong after the whole protest kind of thing, what kind of struck me wrong is he literally just kind of like put a freeze on purchasing guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. But
like you couldn't purchase guns. If you were a gun owner, you could keep your guns. If you were wanting to get a gun past that point, you couldn't. Like, you froze.
But I mean, I'm done with the idea that we don't have guns here. I'm done with that idea. The way the system works here with gun, like, I think it's great. Because even though, like, here it's different, because in Quebec, here I have, like, hunting rifles and, like, we have, like, over 20 guns.
Yeah.
And say, like, somebody would come here to, like, kill the house, rob the house.
Right.
Like, if I shoot him, like, I'm going to prison and having the best of it, like, what I mean? Survive? See if you survive, but I cannot shoot him even though I have gun. It's the point of having gun, then it's just for one thing that's...
Final showdown.
Well, see, here in America, that shit is an absolute either.
Shoot him, like, then I guess you're good, you're in your right if he's on the equipment.
Sorry, Apple.
Here in America, that is an absolute either. Like, there are states that are, you know, what we call stand your ground states, which means if anybody walks up into your property and tends to do you harm, you can do whatever it takes to defend yourself kind of situation, which means you can fucking shoot them. Now, if that's the case, with that included, there are some states that are what we call duty to run kind of situation, which means you have to leave your house. Like, you have no right to be able to defend yourself, even if you have a gun.
If somebody is here to rob your house, like, just give him a beer and wait till all you can.
I mean, that's it, dude. You running up at my house, here's a beer, let's talk about this shit. Alright?
For real, like, if you look at it, like, that's...
I'm gonna be sitting in my motherfucking boxes, here's you a beer, let's talk about this shit. Why you want my TV, motherfucker? But no, I mean... I just... You know, growing up as a kid, I always thought, like, Canada was like a more relaxed, spread out version of America. Like,
way more relaxed.
Without the military industrial complex that we have. Like, it was a running joke when I was a kid, like, we would go to war with, you know, carriers and tanks and shit, and y'all would run up in Sea-Doos. You know? So, but especially with the lockdowns and everything like that, that changed my mind a lot about Canada because y'all motherfuckers were on point with it. Y'all felt like throughout the entire thing, y'all felt like American. Whereas we were bowing down and doing everything to kiss the ass of our government. Y'all were just saying, fuck this, I'm done. What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck, no, that was the last resort before everything collapsed. Why they did it? Because it's going badly. So we have to think again. It's
right.
Because after 2 years, like in America, after 3 months, like
well, you dish out the wax.
Right. I mean, we had vax mandates as well. It kind of happened differently for us than it did for y'all. Like it was like you said, the vaccine passport was country fucking wide. Where here's America, that shit didn't fly. You know,
we did in May, last month of May, like they removed the mask.
But it's, my God, that soon? Or I'm sorry, that late.
And the vaccinal like passport too, like they did remove it in last week, right after the convoy.
Dude, my state, the only time I ever had to wear a mask during the whole damn pandemic is when it first started, like the first 2 months. And then it was just like, nobody gave a shit anymore.
But here's about the vaccine, like obligation that they did, like manifest, because the trucker that didn't want to get vaxxed, like it's just ruining the economy. Basically, they know that. They were like, when nobody will have anything to eat, when all the trucker stuff like delivering, what else? I don't want to get vaxxed, like please, I don't. So can I just like? What I mean, and that's why they manifest. I think.
Because we are live, I'm not going to say anything about that, but you made a damn good choice.
Final showdown.
Now, I've had an episode removed because I was pointed to information as to where, you know, the major one Pfizer came up with as far as where you can find those documents that kind of like prove the conspiracy theory point, but I'm not going to go that far as far as get this one removed.
As a tourist, I still cannot enter like United States if I'm not vaccinated. Illegal.
We still do have that available, yes.
Yeah, it's this like from now, like you can leave Canada without the vaccine, but like America, you know what it is, I guess. They require a vaccine. You can leave Canada, but as far as United States, I cannot.
Oh no,
which is okay, though. But
it's not okay.
Like, but for I mean, like, right there, like the people, like essential to the economy, like to be able to enter, no? Just for like. I mean, it's the economy. The economy is bad. Everything is bad. Kind of.
Dude, I don't think it's okay that you shouldn't be able to leave your country just because you didn't take an experimental jab that was done in 8 fucking months, you know?
Yeah, I know it's never,
backed by the American
people. In the street and I ask people, like, why did you get it? None of them would tell you to feel protected, and that's very...
No, like, it was all because you had
to go to the bar, to be able to go to the cinema. None of them was because they felt protected. I think it's pretty wrong. Like, you tell me, like, say I wanted to get vaxxed and you would ask me why, I'd tell you to travel. Like, that shouldn't be the case. You have to feel protected.
Well, okay, I will admit there are a lot of things, especially here in the United States, if you go overseas, like there are a lot of things that you actually do need your vaccination for, because things like yellow fever, we don't deal with that here in the United States, but other countries do. So if you want to go out of state for that, you know, that kind of situation.
I'm just saying, like COVID. Like just like COVID.
Oh God, no! That should have never been a thing, because apparently we knew nothing about that, which was a fucking lie. But I'm not gonna get into that either. That'll be removed. But yeah. Oh shit! Okay, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why they had the old convoy test against us.
No.
Eliminated.
I wish y'all would have done more with
Like
that.
they-
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, shit,
And
I'm
when
gonna
shit
die.
like come back, their sync cases are like going, the sticks are going higher and stuff. So let them bring it back.
Ow.
I'm gonna be honest. I wish y'all would have done more with that. Like, it's kind of like the trucker convoy. The whole world was behind y'all. You stay there for a little bit, and then it's just like, all right, we're done, because they came out just like in arms, trying to like remove y'all, throwing you in jail for being out there. Like, I definitely don't agree with that, and that's why I say we have a dictator at our northern border. This motherfucker actually had to run to the United States because of that. He ran your country from our country. I got a problem with that. And then he comes back after the trucker convoy, and he's just like, yeah, here's what we're gonna do now. Because y'all motherfuckers made me run. Like, even your election kind of situation, that was questionable as far as how he was brought up. Like,
I have to go.
Okay.
Don't forget.
Yeah, I have to go. I would love to get into a.
what?
Cupcakes.
I said I'd like to get into a vaccination.
You were cutting out left and right here.
I would like to get into a vaccination conversation,
Okay.
but I have to go.
Well, when you get a moment, let me know. We'll have you damn sure
All
back
right.
on. I love it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is fun. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Stop being so damn scared of
Elusive,
everything.
I
Let's
know, I'm
talk.
sorry. Let's talk. Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. Have fun.
Not a problem. Apple, as soon as you get a mic as well, you can be involved in this. I'd love to hear what you got to say too, Apple. But Apple or Geo plays on YouTube apparently. But yeah, thank you so much for Keck for actually coming by for once. I mean, I know this has been a couple
I'm
of
sorry,
months.
I know. I'm the
But-
worst, I know.
We need to sit down one night outside of the game, and we need to.
Yeah, I
we need
agree.
to talk.
I would like to. I feel more comfortable now.
Well, good.
Yeah. Very
But-
nice. Very nice atmosphere.
You take it easy. Have a good night, and take care.
Yes, you too. Thank you guys. Bye.
But as far as everything goes, like I know you're not that political as far as everything. Where do you want your country to go, though? Where do you
I
think
mean, what do you
the
mean? What do you
future
want
of your
country to
country?
go?
Well, okay. Where do you think the future of your country should be for everybody to be happy, and at least middle ground happy?
I mean, I feel like people are like already happy, to be honest, like here. But
Y'all are
for sure,
content
like,
as shit. All right, let's just be honest. Y'all are just like, it is what it is kind of situation.
Nah, I mean, it's very different because, like, I was talking to somebody once, like, in the United States, and was like, okay, I need to go to the store, but this neighbor is not safe, so I need to bring my Glock. I was like, dude, that's not a life. You don't want, like, to be scared of people like it's dangerous. You know what I mean? Here
Right.
We have none of that. So, like, the old sentiment is more peaceful because, like, dude, there's no neighbor where I can go and it's dangerous here, basically. Like, if I think, like, maybe some places in Montreal, but even then, there's no Toronto, I guess. It's a big city, but
Right.
overall, like, it's pretty peaceful. So, there's the sentiment is really different. The only thing because a lot of my opinion are more like about like Quebec, because Quebec is a very special province because they act like they were like a country, but they are not.
Right.
So it's that's another topic. So they try to be like different country once, but it didn't work. And they also like thought about like aligning with United States back then, I think, but it also didn't work. So where I live, it's not like, how can I say, it's not like your truly Canadian opinion, because I'm in Quebec and I live like a countryside, I guess, would say, more in the forest, not in the big cities. So
Okay.
and like the French Canadian like people are very different like to the Canadian people, very. So like when you say as a Canadian, like I feel like it's more like a French Canadian kind of, not to differentiate myself, but I know it's different. And also there's the fact in Canada that there's not that much of big cities, so there's a lot of problem I see like in the United States, and I'm like, that's because there's a lot of people too. The more people you have, the more like problem will, I mean,
Right.
not necessarily problem, but you know what I mean. Like you go in Saskatchewan, like it's like, I mean, I've never went there, but I know there's not as much people that like.
Let's see.
So for me,
All right.
like I can go anywhere. Nobody's never going to try to rob me or attack me or whatever. So people here to just like open the TV, drink beer, and like feel safe. I feel for a lot of us, like.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about,
And we're
brother.
not like after our rights, like, and always like aware of politics, because we all feel safe, and as long as we have enough money in our pocket, like we good. So
What do you think about the United States as a whole? Like, our problems, everything that we have, our economy as it is now, and as it has been, everything. What do you think of the United States as a whole?
I mean, just like if something that I could like compare, like like the healthcare system here, I wish like it was more like in the United States, but like I think you're good on that. Also, like your money is worth more, your economic is stronger, and I feel like how can I say, like the capitalism sentiment is like bigger. Here it's more like socialist, I feel like, in Quebec, not
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that was not your question. Sorry,
I mean-
but like there's that. Like we talked once. Like you asked me, like what about like the real care system? That's what you asked. And
Right.
we compare like how much money you would still have in your pocket after taxes after 1 year, compared to me. Like, and I pay more than double the tax you paid for the same amount I did earn. And
Right.
I do not even take into account that your money is worth like 25% more. You did
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
80k. I don't like take into account like the exchange there if you want to go there. So like I told you, I'm like, you were about like 25 and I was at 55% of the money I earn, and that's like taxes and the
Oh.
taxes when you go to the store. So like I told you, then you tell me if it's free healthcare. Like,
No,
I
it's
give
not.
more.
It's
You know what
not.
I mean? Like, yeah, but all the American people, they're like, in Canada you have free healthcare, and I'm like, dude, I know like you also have like some free healthcare option in the United States, there's some places, if I'm not wrong. I mean,
All right,
I know a girl that she works like
Our healthcare
with her
system.
job, she works with people that are paid by the government because they have no money. So she's employed by,
Right.
she's paid by the government. So that's kind of
Our healthcare
government,
system
like, providing
is
health system.
it's extremely fucked up as far as that goes. Like, we've privatized healthcare, which means, you know, if you were employed, you have a discount as far as healthcare is concerned. Like, your job will take care of major bills and everything like that. With every healthcare plan, everything's different as far as that goes. You could go to the hospital for a cold, or okay, let's just take it this way. You could walk into a walk-in clinic here in America for a cold, and get charged maybe $50, which is still a lot. for a fucking cold, but let's just be honest, a lot of people here in America are hypochondriac motherfuckers, and they run this healthcare shit up. But
I paid thousands for the same scenario. So
right. But if something major were to happen, like I break my arm or something like that, without being, that's not even a major situation, but like intermediate
I
kind
know
of
what
thing.
you mean, like get an operation or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I were to have an operation, say like my appendix burst or something like that, with my health insurance plan with me and my wife, I'd probably pay like $2,500. So roughly out of pocket. Without it, I'd be paying about 50, 60 grand. You know, now I could argue with the hospital and you know, with them and get that lowered down to probably around 5, 6 grand or something like that. But to have a life-saving kind of situation to come up, like if my appendix burst kind of situation, which you literally have at most 10 minutes before you die, if that were a thing, to get some kind of healthcare going on. But if that were to happen and I'm not insured, like, dude, for most people here in America, that's a bank account ending shit.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
You know, but if you had healthcare, it still could be a bank account ending shit, because we run paycheck to paycheck kind of situation. Whereas, from what I understand about your healthcare, as far as that goes, like, you would be taken care of, it would be okay, but going to the hospital simply because you have a broke arm, it's going to be a minute. You know? Am I wrong about that?
I mean, what do you mean it's going to be a minute? Like, I'm going to have to wait, you mean? Like,
not like wait a couple, like an hour or so like we would here in the United States. Like, it's going to be a thing. Like, if you have, okay, let's take the broke arm out of the situation. Like, if you just go in for a regular checkup, you know, things like that. How long does it normally take for y'all?
I mean, here we got like what they call like familial doctor kind of.
Right.
So, but like just to like give you like my overall point of view is, I feel like in the end everybody gets paid. So whether is like America like or Canada, like all the doctors like get paid in the end. So here they just like take your money. It's like an insurance company basically. They take your money first and they pay the people like that something happened to them, and then like they have a bankroll to manage that.
Right.
So but you pay when something happened. That's the difference. Here you pay even if nothing happened, and they manage this money. Like, that's the, I mean, you know that it's basic, but I think like it's fair and unfair because like I said, it's kind of socialism. Like, people pay for the other that have, like, know what I mean? In the end, it's all the same money, the same cost, and the basically the same. Everybody gets paid in the end, whether like it's a insurance or free healthcare or whatever.
Right.
But so yeah, here they just, it's like an insurance company basically. Like you insure like your car, and they just pay the one that have an accident and like make money on the one that never have an accident. And like when somebody reclaims, they lose money, but they make more because there's a lot of people not like claiming.
Yeah, that drives safely kind of situation.
Here the free healthcare system is like that, but like just think about COVID. They had like, and I have a screenshot from the news. They said they had like 150 people like in intense, how can you say, like emergency like room because of COVID. Like they were in hospital under like a big care, big watch or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? 150 people, and the whole province here was shut down, and they had to put down a curfew and everything because there was only 150 people in hospital beds due to COVID. And I'm like, dude, that's a really shitty system, and that's why here they did panic a lot with COVID and install all those measures, because they know they are managing the healthcare system really bad, and they know they will get overwhelmed because they're not ready for it.
Right.
So, dude, with 150 people like in hospitals, like we are millions. 150, like damn. So, and like here, say I want to get an operation, like unless it's urgent, I can wait like for 1 year or maybe more before I can get it. So, like in a lot of cases, if I would like need an operation, I would go on the private and I would just pay because like the free system is. I mean, it depends. But in the end, like it's people pay for other. That's how the free healthcare system is built.
Well,
So, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of in between. I like the idea of paying when something happens instead of always paying. And if something happens, it's kind of free. So in the end, you pay for the other. Because if nothing ever happened to you, like then you paid. Like for me, like because in Canada, like when I do my taxes at the end of the year,
right.
The insurance card cost. I mean, I didn't look like in the recent years, but I remember back then it cost like $600 in your taxes every year. And if you have that card, like you can go to the hospital like free and get like whatever. If you broke your arm or you have a cold or whatever. So that's $600, and here everybody like has to pay like a $200 taxes for pills, like. Even though you don't take, even
wait. When you say 200 in taxes, you mean yearly, weekly, monthly? How does that work?
Yearly. Yeah, yearly. Because here we don't call it taxes; it's impôt in French. So it's yearly. It's when at the end of the year, like when you give the government is cut, basically. When you like do the taxes and see if the amount you have to pay balances and like you know what I mean.
Right. Well, I mean,
so
apparently to us here in America, 200 a year wouldn't be shit.
And like that's what they say. Like it's strictly for like this card and the medication, but another big part of the money still goes into that system still.
Right.
So like for me, I've been working for like I don't know how many years, but I've paid like more than. Just with the 600 and the 200, like I've paid like I don't know 10,000, 12 something. That's not that much, but still like, and that's not counting the other money that goes in. So if I would have just kept that money on the side, like I would have like you know what I mean. But here they're like people who cannot manage their money because they're too dumb. So let the people give us more money and manage it for them because they. You know what I mean? Like, so they don't get into trouble because they don't have insurance or something. I feel like that's what they do. Might be wrong, but that's what it's look like. So.
Well, see, that's a huge difference here. Actually, can you give me a second? I need to take a piss real quick.
Yeah, no stress.
All right. Oh, jeez. All right, I'm back. I have to bully Bob. Till he realizes I'm back. This is the way our games play out, ladies. All right, Bob. BTS, why are you trying to get you a drink?
All right, I'm back, senpai.
Oh, you back? All right.
I had
No,
to take
but-
a piss too, so.
But I mean, what the way you're talking, like you pay 10,000, roughly around 10,000 a year. What you're saying, right?
What do you mean 10,000 a year?
For like healthcare, things like that.
No, I mean no. I mean, on paper, like what they say on paper, like you pay 800 a year, 800 a year.
Right.
But I'm saying like in my lifetime so far, I've paid more than, and that's just what they say on paper. Because I know like I know it costs more than like only the 600 and 200.
Right.
But like take me for example, like I am like epileptic, right?
Yeah.
And every month I pay like $65 for my medication, and I paid by the government, even though I pay like $200 per year like insurance, but not insurance, but like the pill contribution. I still have to pay every time I go. So
Shit.
and like the girl last time, she was like, I see you don't have any insurance, so you have to pay for them. And I'm like, yes, it's cheaper like when I don't have insurance, if you do the math. I mean, if I pay an insurance, like they will pay a part of the med, and like in the end I just prefer to pay for what I have. And I feel like that's more like a American sentiment. Pay for what you need for what you have, and like that's it.
Right.
But whatever.
Well, I kind of
It's
feel
just,
like I don't know how that would work
but
here in the
that's
United
in
States.
Quebec also, because we see the Canadian healthcare system. Maybe in Toronto it's different. Like I'm talking for me in my city in Quebec, my experience. Like I'm not talking like for, because in Quebec it's very different than in Ontario. So maybe for them it's different. I know they pay like way less taxes than we do in Quebec.
Right.
They pay something like that is more similar to United States compared to Quebec. Like it's crazy.
The bigger cities kind of situation. Like, I know here in the United States, as far as that goes, though, with like as far as healthcare is concerned, like the privatized situation, of course, government the government has their hands in everything, which is it's literally a fucking problem, because that's why, you know, an overnight stay here in the United States would be 25, 30 fucking grand, because the government's going to pay it because of healthcare, things like that. If you don't have healthcare, you can negotiate. I'm not going to try to use another word that I normally would without being on a stream, but you can negotiate that down to a couple of grand, 5 at most, or something like that. You know, with a night here in a hospital, a major hospital here in the United States. Still a problem as far as that goes. But if you have healthcare, like a night here in the United States in a good hospital, at least a decent hospital with insurance, is going to be 25, 30 grand. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge problem with the privatized.
Yeah, but you would get
version.
some good services, though, I guess.
Right. I mean, you would get a lot of great services and very, very little cost to you, depending on the problem. Now, if you have cancer, it's pretty much out of pocket for damn near everything. But cancer's a racket here in the United States. I'm not going to dive into that at all. But, I mean, if you were to, like, say you break your arm and you go in there and you get that set $500-$600, depending on your insurance, as far as that goes, whatever your copay is, what we call it, whatever your copay would be, you know, that's what you would owe flat out, as long as your insurance company will back out that claim. But I mean, in that kind of situation, it would be okay. But if something major were to happen, your ass is on the hook for a lot of it, because everything's privatized.
Yeah, right. So that's why here people pay for others, so nobody gets into that situation.
Right.
But then people that doesn't need like, I mean, I guess that's kind of socialism. I don't know. Like I don't know like those terms like in details, but I feel like people pay for other basically that. And it's
Well,
another way of like
that's,
working it. Like, it's just another way of.
that's actually kind of how it does work in a broad spectrum of things. You are right about that, because like me myself, okay, I haven't seen a doctor in over a year now, because I don't feel like anything's really wrong with me at that point, but I still pay these premiums and insurance. Me and my wife still pay these premiums and insurance for something we're not using, and we all know that it's like a pool of money. Everybody involved in that insurance
But you have
is
the
paying
choice
for everybody else.
But you have the choice to do it too and change your insurance company. Here it's in the system. We don't choose it.
Oh yeah, we have that choice. We do have that choice.
That's
You
the
are right.
difference. Like if you're kind of like, how can I say, like not careful, and you'd be like, okay, I don't want any insurance. I'm paying zero. Like, if something happened, I'm in deep. Like in the United States, you can do that, right?
But because
you can make the choice of having zero insurance. No, legally, I don't know.
We could, but because of Obama, if that were a thing, like taxes at the end of the year, we get hit hard from that shit. Like we get penalized pretty damn deep because of the Affordable Care Act that we have, that Obama introduced. Like if we do not have health insurance at all, from whether it be what the government provides, which is incredibly fucking costly, or whether it be from an employer, which is incredibly costly, we get penalized pretty damn heavy at the end of the year. Now, it's not as much as what would be healthcare wise, but for a lot of Americans, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, the tax time at the beginning of the year kind of situation it's like a boost to our wallet. So a lot of people that don't have healthcare actually wind up owing money if they don't have kids and everything else, as far as tax exempt and things like that. If they're not up on the tax shit, they're gonna wind up owing money.
But it's the same thing here, though. Like, if you didn't pay enough during the year, like you will pay at the end. Like, if it doesn't balance, you have to pay more.
Wait. So it's kind of, it sounded like our healthcare system is already on point with yours. Like you can have your privatized healthcare, right?
Not really here. I mean, I don't know if there is, because here we got like private clinics, or we got like the big hospital, like from the city, kind of the government hospital.
Right.
Because all the hospitals are owned by government here. I don't know in the United States if it's private.
No, ours are privately owned. Like it's like a CEO of a company kind of situation.
Yes.
They treat it
So
like
here,
that.
like here, they own it. You don't have the choice. Like you have to pay it, and then like you trust them for managing it good. But then when something like COVID happened, you see that they are not ready for it. So you're like, okay, they're not doing good management. So, but we don't have the choice. Like that's the thing I don't really like. I'm not saying the system is bad, but it's about like, I don't know, like I'm in between, if I can say.
Well, let's just be honest. Here in America, we weren't ready for COVID either, because of past pandemics that were literally swept under the rug. Like our ventilator situation that actually happened. You know, Obama, what was it? It was either the swine flu or the first COVID or something like that that happened under Obama. No, bird flu. I think that was. Like the ventilators and everything that we had national stockpile of. Obama, because of that, you know, that ran out, and Obama never replenished that. COVID happens. Trump comes into office with an already depleted stock. COVID happens. All that shit played out. A lot of dumb shit happened within our country because of that. Like, hospital ships, like military hospital ships, being off the port of major cities, but the governors in those states would not use them to make Trump look bad, kind of situation. Governor Cuomo in New York, who literally sent COVID positive patients back into nursing homes with a hospital ship sitting right off their ports that was never used. Things like that. There was another one as well. Gretchen Whitmer literally sent young patients, like people younger than us, into nursing homes that were COVID positive to literally, the only way I could say it is to literally infect the most vulnerable among us. You know,
like I say, Senpai, the best way to fight it is to have it.
It is. I mean, naturally.
That's what I say, but it annoys people. Like,
naturally speaking, like I'm unvaxxed myself. All right. Naturally speaking, your immune system is meant to do that. If you survive an infection from it, your body gets incredibly stronger. Yes, over time, if you're not exposed to it constantly, over time, your immune system does wear down from that kind of thing, and you could be vulnerable again. Like I've gotten COVID twice. The first time it knocked me the fuck out.
So it's
huh?
Like I'm saying this as a healthy person, kind of. If like for old people, it's like different, you know.
Oh yeah.
When I say the best way to fight it is to have it. Like I'm speaking for me, for you, like not like people in danger. No?
Like immunocompromised kind of people, I understand. I get you. Like you should be at risk, but there's no reason why I, myself, as a healthy American citizen who had COVID twice, once before the pandemic bounced off. Now I cannot prove that, like I've said multiple times, but every symptom was there. I was run the fuck down. I couldn't breathe. It felt like literally somebody was sitting on my chest at every point in time. It burned through my all of my coworkers. Damn near every single one of my coworkers came down with it roughly around the same time. When I got it again, it literally felt like a hangover that lasted 3 days. That was it. You know, I was a little short of breath and I was tired all the time, but just that constant, like a hangover, kind of constant headache, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
But for immunocompromised people, somebody with respiratory issues as well, that could be a thing. I could understand the worry. I could understand the cause of that, but...
Yeah, of course.
Everything here in America it was blown out of proportion for that shit. Now, even CDC, you know, later on in the pandemic, even the Center for Disease Control said that, you know, only 6% of what was reported here in the United States was actually true as far as death count. Meaning 94% of that was on the extreme end. Somebody got shot in the head. They wrote it down as COVID. You know, that kind of situation.
Yeah, they did kind of the same here. I mean, if you're like 96 years old, like it's kind of far-fetched to say that because of COVID. Right. Opinion, but...
I mean, if you're old as fuck and you got COVID, yeah, I could see that. But if you're 16, 17 years old and you get COVID and somehow wind up die, chances are that's not a thing. You know, even our youngest,
for me,
our youngest, like as far as COVID is concerned, our youngest was the least affected population, and yet they're still pushing for the jab for the youngest among us to get, which is a problem in of itself, and I'm not going to go into that because I don't want this removed. But
I mean, the way I did the math on it, you know, like they said, like even if you're vaxxed, you can still like transmit it.
Right.
And the only thing it's going to do is like lesser like your symptoms. So I was like, if I go with that logic, like people that are getting vaxxed to go at the bar and hang with each other, they are stupid because they can still like give it to other people. And yes, their symptom might be like
well,
lesser, but like then it's a personal choice. If you want to have like worse symptoms or like less symptoms, like it's your choice. I feel if that is what the vaccine does, like it's a personal choice. Then
I don't know how it was for y'all, but I'm just gonna give you a timeline of how everything here in America played out, and you kind of bounce off some differences and similarities off that. Okay, now COVID hit in the end of 2019, 2020. Everybody locks down at the beginning of 2020 kind of situation within the first couple of months, right? The entire world goes into fucking lockdown at that point, right? When did y'all lock down? When was that the major thing for you? Do you remember?
I mean, I remember the date like pretty clearly. It was like March 12th. Because I do trading, and like on that day, like all the market collapses, like I don't know how many percent, but like crazy day, like a black swan event they call it. And I remember from that day, like it was like quarantine, but there was no curfew though. It was just quarantine, like. But so then they did add a curfew.
It was pretty much like us.
In Quebec, the thing is like they know the system, like they are managing the money like for the free healthcare system, so they know that the more people infected, like it's going to cost, so they are trying to prevent, because they know like they'll have to pay for it if they don't.
Right.
But if they prevent it too much, then they ruin the economy. So like in my city, there was 3 restaurants, they all closed and they won't open up. A lot of businesses like failed and closed here because of COVID, so that's very bad. So like they know like they did fucked up on that part, I think that, excuse me for the word, but
I don't give a shit, dude.
Like,
We've been cussing this entire time.
Yeah, I know, sorry, I just always cuss anyway. But yeah, that's like they know they were getting in shit if they were not preventing it here, because they know their hospital were not ready and like it would cost a lot, so they like try to over prevent it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Kind of like here in the United States with that. You know, the biggest problems for us were the biggest cities that we have, but a lot of shit within that, just like I remember this news coverage where they literally had dummies sitting in these hospital beds. Like it's a thing. You can look that video up. Like in New York and San Francisco and things, like they had dummies sitting in the ICU hospital beds trying to make it look like an actual person was there. But with everything
that's weird, dude.
Dude, you go looking up the shit that happened here in the United States with that,
really
a lot of it's
like,
questionable.
you don't have. But did you ever have like vaccine obligation in the United States? Like,
yes, actually, yes.
Like if you want to, for whatever, I don't know for what. Like,
it was actually it was somewhat of a nationwide thing. Now there's a lot of contention with that as far as that goes, because people do say yes, we did have vaccine mandates, and yes, I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can argue it to the day the cows come home. We did have that shit. Okay. Now you can say it wasn't a government. Right. All right. Look at the military. There's a lot of contention with that as well. But look at the military. We've been purged from that shit because people wouldn't get the vaccine, as far as that goes. And our military has literally been cut in half. But we did have that, and a lot of places it was like places like New York City, places like San Francisco, pretty much all of California. We did have the vax passports for a while. That was a thing for a good little bit.
I mean, I'm glad to hear it. I feel less alone.
Oh no, it happened here. It happened here.
But I mean, I live in the forest, so in the big city, I think it's relevant more, let's say. But I live in the forest, like I'm not a threat.
But
like I don't know, you know what I mean?
Right. But with everything here in the United States, as far as it played out, it literally depended on what state you were living. Like if you were in what we call
which kind of makes sense,
right? If you were living in a deep blue state like New York and shit like that, it was literally hell on earth. But here where I live is somewhat deep red. It's more red than it's going to be blue. Like the only time I ever had to wear a mask was when I was walking into hospitals. You know, now the whole vax mandate kind of thing did hit my business, and I literally stood up in front of the owners of the company and I said, if you're going to push this vax mandate shit, you best fire me now because I'm not going to take it. And you know, it was a big thing that day. There was an argument that was ensued because of that, and you know, I didn't give up at all. They wound up literally making a piece of paper saying who's going to get vaccinated, who's not, and 97% of our company said no. So the vax mandates did not happen in our company because if they were to push it, they'd lose 97% of their workforce. You know, so we had a win here with my company because of that, all because I said no. And I do feel like if I'd not had said no, a lot of people would have gone along with me. So I put my ass on the line for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But as far as that goes, like the only time we really had to wear a mask is like big businesses like Walmart and things would make you wear a mask. Hospitals, of course, make you wear a mask. Anywhere else, it was a whatever kind of situation. You know, you want to wear it, you wear it. If not, fuck it, who cares? You know, but our economy still took a hit because of all the lockdowns and everything. And I still don't understand it. Like the unemployment benefits and everything that we had because of COVID it literally ended roughly around a year ago. How the fuck are these motherfuckers still surviving? Because everybody's got a now hiring sign outside of their business. There's a lot of worker shortage happening in our area. Even here, I don't understand how these motherfuckers are surviving when I'm not even gonna say barely. I'm a little bit better than paycheck to paycheck with me and my wife included. You know what I'm saying? Like I carry over weekly. I carry over a good bit of money every week. And our bills are paid and everything like that. So if these motherfuckers ain't working, how the fuck are they surviving? That really worries me as far as my area is concerned. I do have to get that out there because I need to know that question. But as far as Canada is concerned,
I mean, in Canada, in Quebec, it's like, let's close all the businesses and give stimulus check to people. I mean, I'm not a mathematician or like a financial dude, whatever, but I feel like it's a bad recipe.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, you're paying for everybody else and you're working. You know, everybody else is at home and you're not doing shit, which is, you know, it was a thing here in America. Like, okay, non-essential workers, you got paid extra money to sit at home and do nothing for a good little bit of time. But those essential workers like me had to go to work for the same amount of pay. There was no benefits. There was no extra shit for putting your ass on the line, like they were saying. You know, I didn't get anything extra for being essential.
Dude, I lived on stimulus check for 2 years, and I think it's ridiculous. But I'm just going with the story. They say it's dangerous, and it's dangerous. So what as a good citizen that care about people, the best I could do is stay home and get the stimulus check. You know what I mean? I know
free money. It's free money.
I know like all of this happening is bad and it shouldn't be, but like I just roll with their story, and every like months I had to like do the, how do you say, like the to like fill the paper on the website to the government, like saying why I was requesting a stimulus check, and every time I would answer because I don't want to infect people with the deadly viruses, like you know what I mean. I was just saying what they were saying basically. They check every time. and literally one time I wrote like because of the fifth wave.
Oh, the fifth
they were
wave.
saying in
Like,
the news.
they were on like 17, 18th wave.
Omicron. One time I just like also write Omicron, something like that. The other like variant, I don't know. And I'm just like saying what they're saying. So I'm like, I'm a good citizen. You know?
Like, you don't understand. Here in the United States, here in the United States, they're pushing it so bad, dude. We're like on our 17th, 18th wave. Like, we've gone through the alphabet as I think it's a Greek alphabet that we're using, like Omicron, shit like that. Like, we're on BA5. All right, like they're trying to still push this shit like it's something to do, and they're like, okay, well, take our president for example. Oh my god, move. Okay, so take our president for example. This motherfucker literally went on air and said he has cancer because of he had to wipe oil slicks off his windshield when he was a kid. Like, no, absolutely fucking not. I don't believe that. Number one. And then people started calling that shit out, like all over social media, all over independent media. They were just like, this is some bullshit. 2 days later, the son of a bitch says, oh, I have COVID. Now, he's still working. You can see a lot of videos where he's still being his old potato fucking self, bumbling around, shitting his pants on the world stage.
Yeah, I said that, and now we recovered. They say that.
Right. Yeah. He's recovered within a couple of days, and it's just like, you know, he was on camera just being like, "Well, I recovered this fast. Look at my predecessor. Trump had to be flown
like,
to
now
a
tell the CDC.
Fuck you, dude. Literally,
I was
fuck
like,
you
now
with
tell
that."
the CDC to remove the vaccine mandate at the border. I was like, yes, like.
And the son of a bitch was like, "No, the only difference is it was because I'm vaccinated. The only difference between my predecessor and me is because I'm vaccinated." You son of a fucking bitch. Our hospitals are filling up with vaccinated people who have caught it more than I have. So you're going to sit there and run your mouth about that. You know, it's...
There's a screenshot I could send you that I took again in the news. Like, they were saying, like, their math, they were saying, and I don't remember, like, the exact number, so I'm... Like, it will just be, like, an average, but they were saying, like, say you get vaxxed, you're, like, let's say 20% more risk to contract the virus.
Oh,
but
yeah.
your symptom, like, will be, like, 2%, like, less. That's not the exact number, it was way bigger, but... So I was like, okay, so I'm trading, like, a small percentage for a bigger, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I have less chance to get it, but if I get it, my symptom will be worse. But if I get vaxxed, I have way more chance to get it. Like, the percentage trade off,
Yeah.
you did the math, you were better off, like, not being vaccinated, because you were only trading, like, some risk of contracting it for, like, just some little percentage of symptoms being, like, softer, less bad.
Oh, that's
and I did the math, and I was like, okay, basically, there are, like, nobody will do the math, of course, but I did it. I mean, it was his math, and I was like, okay, so you're basically telling me, like, don't get vaxxed if you want to, like, gamble on it. So I just thought it was funny, but I was like, nobody's going to do the math on this, I guess. But
like,
they're saying it, like, like,
dude, there's so much I want to say right now, but I don't want to brought down.
Yeah, I mean, sorry,
this is a good episode.
Like, turn this into a vaccine, like, conversation. I don't know, like, I think you wanted to go over it. But.
There's so much I could say as far as just, like, here in America that you just be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? But
I don't get into the conspiracy stuff around it, dude.
It's not like, conspiracy at this point.
Yeah, but even that, like, some people, like, say here, if you say, like, I'm against vaccine, like, they'd be like, okay, like, like you're a conspirationist, kind of. You think it's 5G and stuff like that. I'm like, no, not at all, dude. Just look at the economics around it, and
Well, that was brought up by
There's-
our whole government as far as that goes, dude. It was just like, if you're, for us, it was like, okay, if you're against the COVID shot, then, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're an anti-vaxxer, you're just the worst of the worst kind of. That was pushed
yeah, right.
by our government, by our media, to
Yeah, same here.
literally just be like, I've had vaccinations. I still kind of get vaccinations because they do wear off over time, kind of situation. But that I was 100% against because it was rushed. And, because of Trump, he's just like, okay, Operation Warp Speed, the manufacturers couldn't be liable for anything that happened. If that were the case, rushed out, motherfucker, I don't want it. Like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, nope, I'm done. That's not going to be a thing for me, because if anything happens, the people that created it, that could have potentially killed me, we have myocarditis.
I mean,
and
according to
everything like
science,
that.
it was just too fast, right?
Oh, it was, dude. It fucking
Like,
was.
like
And-
she told me her opinion, like, on this, and I know she's more like knowledgeable about it than me, but because I've never had any vaccine in my life, like when I was born, like in the birth, like when you were born, they give you some, I think. But
right.
for me, I really have zero, because like my family, they don't have it, and like I'm anti-vax, like in general. And I was talking to this about this with Kek, and she told me vaccines are good, like the one that have been there like for 10 years, 20 years, like the stats, like they did the experiment, they know it's good. Vaccine are good in itself, it's not, but this one, like, it's just too fast. No way that they didn't test it enough before saying it's good.
Dude, when I
that.
when I end the stream, I need you to hang around for a bit, because I'm gonna send you.
I mean, when are you going
actual
to end it?
information on
just,
that.
Just to know that, because
But yeah, it's a like it was a. Our media has been weaponized here in America. It's been weaponized against everybody, and okay, we have Fox News, One American News, and there's one more. I think that's just like left leaning or right leaning, but everything else is left leaning. Like even our social media, like TikTok, TikTok's Chinese, but like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything like that. It's just like you were banned if you would ever say, even question what the hell is going on kind of situation. Like our media, as far as that concerned, has been weaponized against the people, to where if you even questioned half of the narrative, even just a little portion of it, you were done. You couldn't speak again. And throughout the entire pandemic, like even with our election, like can't say much about it, but every election you can raise questions about, except the 2020 election. If anything,
what was the 2020 election? Wasn't it like Trump?
That was Trump versus Biden. That was the one that just happened.
Because he was trying to get reelected, right? Something.
Yeah, Trump was going for re-election, and then Biden came in. Biden literally
what's
hid
your
in his
opinion,
fucking
quick?
basement the entire damn time, but somehow got the most votes. And there's a lot of things. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. There are a lot of things here in America that just don't add up with that. But and a lot of news articles coming out where people are getting arrested for, I can't put the words together, but there are connections. It is happening. It is a thing. There is some truth to the conspiracy theory, you know, which turned out a lot of that is correct here in the United States. Fuck you, YouTube, I can say it. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get you banned. We're so like,
Dude, like,
that subject.
it's a bad thing. It really is. Like, we have to dance around this shit and hope y'all understand what the fuck we're talking about. Because if you don't understand what the fuck we're talking about, if you haven't gone down that rabbit hole, if you are unwilling to go down that rabbit hole, I should say, I sound like I'm fucking nuts. But if you would take the time for 1 second to try to go down that rabbit hole, to look at the rabbit hole, you start seeing what the fuck we're talking about.
I mean, I'm not even sure I'm following myself.
Dude, that's the point. That is literally the point. The fact that you don't understand.
Talking about like the government, like this.
That's the point included. The fact that you don't understand that, like off screen,
I mean,
we've had these kind of conversations
about this.
You know, we've had some conversations that I cannot bring up and anything like that. But the fact that you don't even understand what I'm talking about, it's a problem. Like the fact that I can't come out and say what the fuck I'm saying right now, because if I were, this shit would be pulled down. That's a problem.
Like YouTube,
what the fuck happened to free speech? Here in America,
like,
what happened to that?
Yeah, but my opinion also is YouTube and like Facebook and like those platforms, like they are like to a certain degree like private, independent, so they can do what they want technically. If they want to shut you down because you say like you mentioned the color like blue, let's say, like they can.
Well,
like it's their
see,
platform,
here's the thing with like social media.
The only freedom of speech is on the like dark web, stuff like that, where it's there's the people, there's no like.
But even that's a problem because apparently here in the United States, everything is far right. If you don't agree with everything, you're far right, apparently. But, like, I understand.
I mean, what I'm saying is they can
business.
censor as they want because like that's it's their platform, kind of. Whether you think it's a good or bad thing. Like,
I get you, but it breaks the First Amendment here in the United States.
You can. Yeah, but it's like if it's not based in the United States or whatever, like it's not American, so it's just on the internet.
You got that privatized. You do have that privatized argument. Here is the problem, though. Things like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook.
All censored.
We have what's called Section 230, which protects them. Say, like, if I were to make a claim, you couldn't sue YouTube over my claim. You would have to sue me. Okay. But because of Section 230, they have shut down every single fucking voice that has gone against the narrative. Like Steven Crowder, Tim Pool has even taken a hit on Twitter, you know, and he walks the line every fucking time. Like, this dude is literally, we call him a milquetoast fence setter for a fucking reason, because he says some shit but kind of bows down, he walks that fucking line. But Steven Crowder, pretty much every single person on Blaze TV has taken a hit simply for speaking out, kind of like what we do in privatized situations, you know. It's a problem here because the things that I know that I can't say on screen would blow your fucking mind as to maybe the US and Canada isn't as different as we think.
I don't know like anything I cannot say personally. Like, whatever the subject is.
Dude, I
like,
can tell
get
you a
on Twitch
lot
or
of shit.
YouTube and-
I can tell you
Yeah,
a
I mean,
lot
I
of shit.
feel like that's the sentiment in the United States. Like, I cannot say this, say that, but like for me as a person, I'd get off and then if I get take down the video or something I did, like then I'd be surprised. But as far as
Right.
I know, like I'd say just anything. Just an opinion, like what the
Here in America, like
what's wrong with that? Like
here in America, like if it's if it goes against what we consider law, if it's like a federal law and everything, you know, yeah, taking videos down like this, I would understand. You know, if I were to say something like, you know, kill everybody, if that were a thing, like I called for mass genocide or something like that, I can understand bringing that down.
and like and racist stuff and.
But if I were to say
like that,
right. But if I were to say fuck Joe Biden and you take that shit down, now we got a problem. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, you feel like you cannot say it, or?
No, we can say it. We can say it because that would be a clear fucking breach of the First Amendment in every situation, and everybody would be, even the people that are just, you know, all up Biden's fucking ass would still agree that's a problem. So they can't do that. They can't go that far. But for us to talk about things that are actually fucking true that the government doesn't want us to say because they want to push something and we can't prove it,
said it was true
because of that.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's
like let's say they would know it is, but let's say they would know it is true. Like, how can people know really? Aside from them, so I feel like they can just let it roll it and as a personal opinion.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a clue. phmpt.org. Papa, Mike. What is it? Papa, Hotel, Mike, Papa, PHMPT. I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Papa, Hotel, Mike, Papa, Tango.org. You click on the button that says Pfizer Docs. Look up 5.3.6 post-market data.
Whoa,
just read.
You're too fast. Now I'm on the website.
Okay. You click on the Pfizer doc. I haven't visited in a minute. It should still be there. Well, as a matter of fact, just hit the little search button. 5.3.6 post-market. Read the one that does not say reissue. There you go. That's all I gotta say. I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Okay. Now, keep in mind, as you look through that document,
I mean, I didn't find it yet. Like,
hold on. Let me see if it's actually still active. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've gone there. Going, yeah, process documents, search 5.3.6, post-market experience. Other than the reissue, it is actually still there. November 17th, 2021. These motherfuckers.
Can you send me like the direct link? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hold up.
Easier. But I mean, as far as what you saw online, I feel like it's just opinions. So whether it is the truth or not, like I feel there shouldn't be a problem there. Because it just come out as opinions. So
Oh no. This is not opinion based in any way, dude. This is 5% back.
I mean, if you have a lot of proof of what you're saying, like be different, like you say, but like let's say the things about like alien, whatever it was true, like then you could just say you're crazy still. No,
That's
but
not
like people like that are like pulling like conspiracy or stuff. Like even if it was true, somebody can just look at that and be like, okay, this dude is tripping or whatever. So
well, the link I sent you. Now here's where this is like. Because of a freedom of information request here in the United States that had to actually be dropped, and that the website I gave you is kind of where pretty much everything goes for that to be public knowledge. What I just sent you as a link was right before it was approved, emergency approval for the United States. Now, when you're looking through that, I don't want to give too much away. Like, if we were off stream, I'd go through everything fucking with you.
nah, I get why. I get why.
9 pages of problems.
But like, where does that document come from? Like, can you say it or
Nope.
it's a good source? I mean, or
No. This comes from Pfizer itself. I can say that.
okay, right now because I can make up a document like that.
This was the same information. Now, throughout the entire the Pfizer docs kind of situation, throughout that entire thing, that there are hundreds upon hundreds, almost 1,000 pages of shit that they were trying to release. Like there was a whole thing where it was a thing where Americans were just like, give us the data, give us the data, give us the data. And they're just like, okay, fine, we'll give you the data, but we're only going to do it a couple of pages at a time every year for the next 55 to 70 fucking years. This was the information that they wanted to hide from this shit. This is what sparked like the whole conspiracy theory of it being a thing. You know, you can walk down a whole rabbit hole of all that shit, and I'm not trying to go too deep with you on stream or anything like that, but this was what they were trying to hide from the public. And it's fucking concerning because this is what brought them into saying, okay, so this is emergency approval situation, pump it out. This is a thing that they shut down the entire world for. This is what everybody was supposed to pump into their veins to make the world run again. This was a controlled group situation, and it became a mass experiment kind of situation. But as a matter of fact, dude, hang on with me a bit, all right? I want you to hang on there. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and we're going to take it off, and I want to walk you through some of this, all right?
Yeah, it was stress.
All right, so it's going to be about a minute in time, but I'm going to go ahead and sign off on all this, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all hanging out and listening to us bullshit and ramble. Of course, we'll have Keck on again. She feels a little bit more comfortable talking. Bob, I definitely want to have you back on where we're not playing and we can sit down and talk.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
But I will leave you out with this. You have a voice. It's important. Please, sit down. Let's have a conversation because we damn sure need it now. Y'all take it easy. Have a good night.